Oh, crossover.
Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover. It just crossed him over nastily.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
All right, it's time for the crossover. John and Josh are here. Hello, gentlemen.
Hey.
Josh, rocking the aviators today. I don't know. You kind of looked like.
Oh no! What do I look like?
A magoosh?
Yeah.
No. Are people out on aviators now?
I don't know. You kind
Have
of
they been canceled?
You just had the look on your face. You're kind of just like staring off into space. It looks like you could really care less about the things that happen.
No, I love the show. I love working with John.
This is not going well.
I'm excited to be here. It's a Friday. The window's open. The air though, it is thick and it's thick outside right now. It's humid. It's summer.
That wasn't a very good case for how much you care about things.
No, it
I didn't realize wearing sunglasses meant that you didn't care. Wow.
I don't know if it's that.
Society changes every day. You never know what to expect anymore.
Little bit of a, I don't know, a little bit of a diva maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, see, we've got shades in here that, we can pull down to limit the contrast so it's easier to stare into our screens.
Fine.
Well, you do. No, you do.
No, you do. Here we go.
There we
go.
Hello.
Oh, there you are.
This is Hap's problem. It's not my problem. I don't have a problem with you wearing sunglasses.
I don't have a problem. I was
can't
just
personally
saying
do it
things.
when I'm looking at the computer.
I just wanted to get it out there. I don't have a problem with it. If you are a diva, then you wear the sunglasses. Maybe you want to be a diva. That's fine with me.
I don't want to be a diva. I don't think I'm a diva. Am I a diva? I hope I'm not.
Well, in order to be a diva, you have to be
on.
attractive, don't you?
Damn. Roasted. Is that how it works?
I don't know.
I don't think you have to be attractive to be a diva.
Okay, good.
Oh, all right.
Good.
Okay. Well, that's good.
There we go. Perfect. I guess I can be a diva then. I'm ugly as hell.
Nick is having a huge problem because he can't find his.
I don't like sharing muffs, Hap. I like using my own muff.
All right, so
he doesn't know where his muff is?
Well,
Yeah.
I thought I had it in the box. I have a muff box.
Well, that's what she said.
But the muff wasn't in the muff box, but I don't know if I took it out of the muff box before. I just don't know where my muff went. I think this is my muff, but it might be Gary's muff.
Gary?
Oh, do you know if Gary takes his muff with him?
Gary to get really close to the camera and
You know, before all this nonsense went down, we didn't care where the muff came
yes,
from.
thank you, John.
I never used to care about. I used to use these old red muffs.
Why do you care now?
Because I'm traumatized from COVID, Hap. I don't like germs.
But he was like, I don't know, because once I just don't like sharing them. I was like, Nick, now this is a bit of an image, but if everybody spit onto the floor in the same spot, does that matter to any? No, it doesn't matter to anybody. It's a disgusting
But
thing.
again, your mouth isn't at that part of the floor right up against it for 4 hours.
But you're not like inhaling stuff from the muff. Like
Gary doesn't have COVID, Nick. You'll be fine.
I've gone this whole time without getting COVID once, and I want to keep that streak intact.
Wow, how do you know?
Yeah.
As far as I know, I've never gotten COVID.
John didn't think he had COVID, and then he found out he did have COVID.
Yeah.
Please don't.
And his wife was really mad because he had no symptoms.
Had 0 symptoms. Well, why don't you just take the muff off then? Go muffless.
I don't want to go muffless.
That's what the kids are doing.
That's what the kids are doing anyway. Exactly.
Going muffless sounds bad.
I was thinking. No, it doesn't.
It does.
You know what?
We can just hear your breath so loud.
Go ahead. Take it off right now. Take it off right now.
You hear the plosives?
Yikes.
It's not good.
Well, don't spit into the microphone.
When
See?
you
When
you're good up on the microphone like this, of course it's going to do that. Thank you.
Yeah. I like the muff. I need the muff.
Well, then you're going to have to share the muff, which is appropriately enough what they did in our movie club selection today.
We walked right into that one.
What's the movie?
No.
What's the
Boogie
movie?
Nights.
Boogie Nights.
Oh. So, Nick, did I see your tweet earlier that you didn't know what Boogie Nights was actually about?
Yeah, I thought it was a disco movie, Hap.
Not a disco movie.
Sure isn't.
Not a disco
There
movie.
is a disco scene.
So you didn't know know about Dirk Diggler.
I did not.
He thought Star Wars was a movie about warring stars.
All
the
right.
Stars were truly battling each other.
He thought
All
Rocky
right.
was a movie about,
A rock.
mountains.
I mean, it might be. I've never actually seen Rocky.
Wow.
It's not. It's about something else.
Yeah, it is. It is. Do you know what Rocky's about, Nick?
Yes.
Okay. Well, hey, you can't say it like that when you didn't know what Boogie Nights was about.
I feel like Rocky has more, what's the word, historical clout than Boogie Nights, though.
It does.
Like
It
he did
does.
win an Oscar.
Rocky
It
gets
does.
referenced more in culture than
It
Boogie
does.
Nights.
It does. Now, he's got a point there. But still, I thought everyone kind of knew at this point.
Disco.
I feel bad, Hap, because late in the show yesterday, I just made a
know.
casual mention of it, and it surprised Nick. I wish I wouldn't have said anything because I wanted to get Nick's panicked reaction today. It was like, oh my God, I thought we were going to see the Gibbs, and instead I saw Heather Graham's Hoochie Coo.
I was a little disappointed there wasn't enough Bee Gees. I'm going to be honest. I wanted more Bee Gees.
Nick just turns on the movie. Oh my God. What's going on?
Why are you guys acting like I've never seen boobs
I'm just
before?
saying, like, it would be surprising if you didn't know what it was
No,
about.
it would have just been like, oh, okay, this is not about disco. Cool. Because the trade-off is there's not disco, but there's boobs. That's neat.
Fair trade.
You a big disco guy, Nick?
I'm not a
That-
huge disco guy, but I appreciate disco. I think people...
That is the most one-sided trade since the Herschel Walker deal.
I was going to say, since the Cowboys won a bunch of Super Bowls.
Let's see. We're gonna give up disco and we're gonna add boobs. I don't know about this one.
I think disco gets too much of a bad rap. Like, it's not my favorite genre, but I think disco is a cool genre.
You think disco's underrated?
I don't think it's underrated because it was rated for the time, but I
Disco's an analytics star.
Oh,
I think that
Brandon Staley loves disco.
I think the backlash from Disco Night when they burned all those vinyls,
Disco Demolition
Night, and all of that, I think that was just a bunch of pretentious music snobs.
Wow.
And
No, it wasn't.
Are
It was
you one of those, Nick?
It was 50,000 drunk
used to
White
be.
Sox fans. That's what Disco Demolition Night was.
They weren't no snobs there.
There's no such thing. A White Sox fan and snob do not go together.
No,
ever.
They were rock snobs. Like the guy who organized that, he used to be a DJ, didn't he? Wasn't he an FM DJ who was a rock FM DJ? And then
Yes,
he just
but they
hated
were
disco
taking-
'cause he
they
was
were-
snobby about it.
They were just taking advantage of a bunch of drunk White Sox fans.
Josh, the producer of the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone, tweets in, Nick kept asking me if Boogie Nights was the Bee Gees movie, and I couldn't tell if he was doing a bit or genuinely confusing Saturday Night Fever with
That's
Boogie
what it
Nights.
was. I was confusing Saturday Night Fever with Boogie Nights.
Incredible.
I thought Saturday Night Fever was about a guy who got COVID on the weekend.
It's not fair to play the literal title game with a movie called Boogie Nights. What the hell? What else would it be about? You hear the word boogie, you think disco.
I don't know what the genesis of the title is.
You either
Yeah, I
think
got
disco or Nightmare Before Christmas.
Also,
when you hear boogie.
Where do you guys put the emphasis on Boogie Nights? It's Boogie Nights,
Boogie
not
Nights.
Boogie Nights.
Yeah, Nick is saying
Boogie
it funny.
Nights.
Boogie.
It's like when Schaefer says Game of Thrones or Taco Bell.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
what are
I
you
hate
doing
when
there,
it does
Schaefer?
that. Yes.
Game of Thrones.
Who
I remember the
decides
first
where
time you said
emphasis
Game of
on
Thrones.
Boogie Nights is?
You said
Wow.
you keep
Society.
saying Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights.
Yeah, Boogie Nights.
That's not right.
Hey, we're gonna boogie tonight.
Yeah, Boogie Nights sounds like another off-brand of Game of Thrones. Like, well, we need some new warriors. We're gonna
Disco
call
Game
them
of
the
Thrones.
Boogie Nights.
It's coming to HBO Max very soon. Boogie Nights.
In fact,
Boogie Nights.
that was actually
Boogie
one
Nights.
thing they edited out
Boogie
of the
Nights.
final season of Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah?
The
It was the
Boogie.
one good thing they did.
See,
They got
to
rid
me,
of the Boogie Nights.
to me, putting the emphasis Boogie Nights sounds more like the night situation instead of Boogie Nights, because Boogie Nights should be two separate words, because it's about nights where they boogied. There was a lot of boogieing.
Incredible.
This is incredible. Can't wait for his review of the film. Coming
Josh,
later.
are you okay?
I'm good.
He's hyperventilating.
I'm okay. I'm doing just fine. I'll drink a cup of water here.
How do you guys do One Beer Friday at the ballpark? Well, I guess they're
Very carefully.
Yeah.
Do we do it carefully?
Yeah.
I bring in a thing. They just wave me in. Then nobody ever pats me down or searches for anything.
so you
yeah,
just
so we just
walk
switch
in.
back and forth. Yeah, it was great. The last time we were here 2 weeks ago, John brought in like 25-ounce cans of Miller Lite. I was like, "Holy crap, this is
Well,
massive."
those are the ones that were on sale.
Hey,
I mean,
And I
when,
gotta-
when I went into the grocery store to get it.
putting the one in One Beer Friday. I like it. I
Yeah.
like your style,
Yeah,
man.
when they sell the singles, they sell the big ones.
I got tall boys today.
Now you could buy beer at Creighton baseball games. You could walk down the hall. They might pour you one.
Do they have beer when we're starting at 4:45 down
Up here, no.
Yeah,
not
yet.
anymore.
Because
Oh,
they got rid of it. They don't have beer up
that
here?
Well,
bar
they don't.
open?
Yeah, they don't have the seats open up here.
Jeez,
Oh.
COVID. Man, taking another thing out. You hate to see it.
Yeah.
I do love that bar up on that level, though. I stand up there all the time. Oh, no, you guys are on the level above that.
Yeah, we're the press level.
Sorry, I was thinking about a different point.
We're not in the snooty club level.
Yeah. We should have done the show from the suites. Come on, what are you guys thinking?
That would have been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys got coming up today?
What do we have coming up today? Oh, we have Bill Conley coming up today.
Bill Conley, we'll talk
Nice.
about Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights.
With Kent Walgamot. I'm looking forward to that.
Our Friday friend, Chris Basnett.
You think anybody will transfer, Hap, while we're on the air over the next 3 hours and 49 minutes?
It is Friday, and that's usually a good day for a news dump.
Friday news dump will log off at 6 o'clock, and then at 6:01 they'll announce something.
Yeah.
massively
Wasn't that
important.
pretty much the timing with Casey Rogers the other day?
That was we
was
were
in the middle of the show.
Yeah,
like
we were
3:30.
still we were still out. Yeah, we got lots of content out.
That
of
was right before shave, so it was like 3:30.
Yeah, thank you, Casey.
Yeah. I don't know. There's going to be some more. I don't know if they'll be as surprising as that, but they'll probably have people leave the team.
I would agree with that. That was definitely a big surprise.
Yeah, and the offers keep rolling in. He's up to at least 5 or 6 that I've seen.
It really does show. We had the conversation, I believe it was with Schaefer the other day, about when you're looking for linemen in the transfer portal, how players that have very limited experience are suddenly getting offered by a lot of people. And we're seeing that with Casey Rogers. Like, you look at his stat sheet and he's getting offered by a lot of, name Power 5 schools. Arkansas had a good year. Of course, we know Lincoln Riley going to USC, Washington under a new coaching regime. I know that the schools are kind of up and down, but it just shows the importance of any player with any level of experience on the defensive line.
Well, and it shows you how hard it's going to be for Nebraska to try and get. I mean, because they don't need just one now; they need a couple on that defensive line.
They needed one anyway before we got the news. So it is. There are certain positions that the transfer portal is going to be very kind to, and there are others. Unless you're like an elite level talent. Like wide receiver, you could probably, you didn't have to swing a dead cat and you're going to hit a wide receiver in the transfer portal. And the same with, running backs and things like that. But yeah, there are some positions, and I would say the defensive line is one of them.
That and the offensive, like tackles.
Yeah.
Offensive tackles.
Like,
brutal.
I
Really
get to the
difficult.
point where I'm asking this question, and I don't know. And a lot of this has got to be figured out over the next week because there's like a kind of built-in deadline of sorts in there. But like, what are they going to do if they don't get anybody? And I know they got a guy visiting this weekend, and maybe they feel good about that. But like, what actually are they going to do? Because there's just not enough. There's borderline not enough people to put out on the field right now.
Yeah, I don't mean to be glib, but it's almost like you're praying that you don't have any massive injuries, that the players are able to stay relatively healthy. That, the thing that we haven't talked about, I think, enough, Hap, since the news actually came down was like what this means for the position groups behind the line, like the importance that now this will place on the linebackers, for example, and the defensive backs too, but really the front seven and the importance now of remaining healthy. And sadly, the linebackers, maybe not sadly, but the linebackers are going to have to step up. Maybe in a way that we weren't expecting them to have to step up before this spring kind of turned into a lot of panic about the defensive line.
I think it's fair to say that those guys like Henrich and Reimer benefited a lot from guys like Damian Daniels over the last couple of years. Yeah,
absolutely.
Good linebackers usually do.
Yeah.
It really does depend on those guys in front of you, because the better they are at keeping the offensive line from getting to your level, the better the chances you are going to of making the play. And so, yeah, Josh is right. It's a trickle down effect that's going to affect every level of the defense. And, the answer to the question, what do you do? You're going to have to roll out the young guys and hope that the young guys grow up pretty quick.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. I mean, that's about the only remaining one at this point. And, they could still get 2-3 guys, whatever, from the transfer portal, but it's thin no matter what. That's going to be the situation going into the year. So
and if they get players out of the portal, going back to what we just said a moment ago about Casey Rogers and the offers he's getting. Yeah, I mean, you're really just going to have to be crossing your fingers that people missed on evaluation, and you're really not going to be able to look at the guys' numbers and be like, oh, cool, he's a known commodity. There will be no known commodities unless they somehow land O'Shawn Mathis, but different position.
That's the portal in general, right?
Yes.
I mean, except for a couple guys every year, everything that goes in there is a lottery ticket.
Yep. Yeah. Even the quote unquote knowns, You know, those sometimes don't even turn into, you know, players that contribute. I think Casey Thompson, like, you could make the argument for a school like a Nebraska that might be the ceiling for now in terms of transfer portal, where he has a solid touchdown to interception ratio in his career. But, you know, for a player who's been in college as long as he has, his numbers aren't maybe what you would hope for from a quarterback.
And quarterback's
right.
a little different because there's going to be so much movement at that position no matter what. But
yes,
yeah, I'm with you. It did work out well for them there. And everywhere else, it's just, yeah, we're going to take a guy and we're going to see kind of what happens. We're going to see how it works.
And the thing about, you know, whatever Nebraska is able to do in the portal when it comes to defensive linemen, really what you're looking for are bodies.
Yep.
Because you're not going to land an Ndamukong Suh.
Correct.
You're going to be in a spot where you're looking for some depth and maybe some guys that, you know, are a little more seasoned than the ones that you have that can help bring those guys along, but you're not getting playmakers at this position out of the transfer portal. Because if there are any of those guys, guess what? They're already taken by bigger schools who are like, hey, we can offer you a lot more.
Like,
so
here's a great example. Like,
this is a depth question. This is not a, you know, adding quality question.
Nebraska lost Jordan Riley in the offseason to Oregon, and nobody we didn't even talk about it. We're like, guys haven't really played it all in a couple of years. Okay, he's gonna go follow Tuioti to Oregon. Now it's like, oh, we would love to have that right now. Like, that would be awesome.
This is one of those really unique moments where in a vacuum, every individual move that they lost, like, you can kind of talk yourself out of it not being a big deal. No biggie. But then when you add all of them on top of each other, you know, it's suddenly turned into this like game of Jenga where it could just fall over because they've started taking out all these pieces.
Yep. And that's the situation they're in right now. All right. Well, I'll let you guys get on with it. Enjoy the ballpark. Enjoy the nice fresh air.
Yeah.
Enjoy your sunglasses, Josh.
Air. Thank you.
You won't be blinded by the very painful sunlight that comes in the window.
Thank you.
Well, and that's the thing. It's overcast. It's not sunny.
I've gotten so used to wearing the shades. I got to wear the shades.
You haven't worn them all week in the studio.
Well, not in the studio. Outside. We're basically outside. There's enough sunlight, John. Peeking through the clouds. Shut up.
All right, he's a diva.
See ya.
Bye. Have a good weekend. Thanks, Hap. That's Connor Happer. That's the crossover. Yes, it's another One Beer Friday.
Yeah.
This is the kind of day. This is the kind of day that really lends itself to a One Beer Friday.
Oh, yeah.
It's good beer drinking weather. Warm, humid, and yeah, it's windy.
Oh, yeah.
But we're at the ballpark, and we're going to enjoy this Friday right here on 1620 The Zone.
Your Omaha area forecast from Canoyer Garden Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly cloudy, windy, and very warm for your Friday, with highs this afternoon topping out in the mid-80s to even the lower 90s further west. Wind advisories remain in place throughout the afternoon and into early evening. Gusts possible out of the south today between 45 to 55 miles an hour. Chance for storms as we head overnight tonight, few of which may become strong to severe. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
When cancer hits home, when you need answers and hope, turn to Nebraska Medicine, where cancer care is world-leading and personal. In one visit, you'll meet with the team specializing in your cancer, discover treatments based on your DNA, and the support that makes a difference, like a nurse case manager and multiple locations, so you can always be close to home. For cancer, this is where you begin. Visit nebraskamed.com/cancer.
Home is with you wherever that may be.
When you shop at Baker's, you can double your savings, because every time you shop, you'll earn fuel points that will help you save more at the pump. So you'll enjoy lower than low prices at Baker's, plus fuel points on all your favorite items, which makes doubling your savings easy. Baker's, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply. See store for details.
We're hiring for immediate openings with next day pay, benefits, and great perks. Apply today at jobs.kroger.com/bakers.
When life gives you lemons, it's time for Godfather's Pizza Spring Feast, featuring my new lemon bar streusel. This tangy, lemony dessert is perfect with any medium specialty pizza, piled high with the best toppings and lots of them, plus loads of mozzarella on top. Add any medium one-topping pizza, and you got my new spring feast. But you better hurry. Summer's right around the corner. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
Got chronic joint pain? Not having success with steroids, but trying to avoid surgery? Well, thankfully, there's a better way, and it's now available here from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics. Hey, it's Damon Benning here. I'm talking about new therapies, advanced all-natural regenerative treatments that not only just give you relief, but also can restore and repair damaged tissue for long-lasting relief. If you got joint pain due to arthritis, knee pain, hip pain, or shoulder pain, don't just think the old ways of dealing with pain are the only ways. Call now for free consultation. QC Kinetics, 402-205-4960. These remarkable new treatments increase mobility, decrease pain, and help restore tissue. Call now and learn more about these restorative, regenerative, and revolutionary alternatives. Don't wait. Call today. QC Kinetics, 402-205-4960. That's 402-205-4960.
Did you know that radon is the #1 cause of lung cancer for non-smokers and that our region has some of the highest levels in the country? Radon Defense Midwest can test and fix your home. Visit radonradio.com for an exclusive offer for 1620 The Zone listeners. That's radonradio.com.
Join Share Omaha for Do Good Days, presented by FNBO on May 17th, 18th, and 19th. Support local nonprofits by giving dollars on Tuesday, buying items on Wishlist Wednesday, then giving your time on Fallen Thursday. Get involved at shareomaha.org.
NRG Media is a locally focused company with a full suite of digital advertising products, and we're recruiting for a digital marketing salesperson. If you're looking to grow in a sales role that lets you create unique marketing campaigns for businesses by using products like OTT, targeted display, social media, and more, send your resume to salesomaha@nrgmedia.com. NRG Media is an equal opportunity employer.
This edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone is proudly presented by Union Bank and Trust. The program starts now.
KOCN. Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO. Don't miss a moment, they'll give you your fix. They're on every day from 2 until 6. Spend your afternoons with John, Josh, and Nick. John, Josh, and Nick. They'll show you what sports talk really is.
Bill Conley, Baz, and Kent. That's a Friday.
One Beer Friday, predictions, other topics.
Yes, other topics.
Sunglasses.
Still.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO.
Welcome to a One Beer Friday. We are live at the ballpark. And just, I mean, if it wasn't already obvious, I mean,
You're going to turn the camera?
I can just turn my
Look
computer
at the
around.
ballpark. Oh,
That's the ballpark. There's the grass. There's the dudes watering
okay, cool.
watering the infield.
Nice.
There's Josh.
Hi.
See, he is wearing
Look at
glasses.
that. I am. Yeah.
Yeah, we're at the ballpark today. Creighton's getting ready for a 3-game series against Seton Hall, coming off their 2-game series against Arizona. Methinks the Jays will have a little bit better success offensively than they did on Monday and Tuesday. Seton Hall's pitching is not very good.
Wow, calling your shot?
Well, I'm not calling my shot. I'm just saying. I'm just saying what they should be able to do. And well, the wind is blowing. So
what?
And it is blowing. It is blowing in. I keep forgetting this ballpark's turned the wrong direction. So when we get the warm weather, the southerly breezes blows everything right back in your face. But either way, it feels like summer. It's warm, it's humid. We have literally gone from the weather that you probably get this time of year in Anchorage, Alaska, to the weather you get this time of year in Miami, Florida, all in the course of 1 week.
Yeah, the humidity this morning when I went outside for the first time, like, oh, hello,
It surprised me. It surprised me. I mean, I knew it was going to warm up today, but I didn't expect the humidity. And it was like, for a second, I looked outside wondering, gee, does the lawn need mowed? Because it felt like kind of July-ish.
Yeah, I was wondering when I walked out of the bedroom this morning, the living room wasn't as cool as I was hoping for. We had left a couple windows open last night, and I was like, wow, it's not as cool out here as I expected. And then I walked outside with Banks, and I was like, oh, that's why, because it's really, really thick already.
It is. It is. But we're going to enjoy this One Beer Friday. You can always get involved with us today on the hotline, 402-951-1620. We've also got the Equitable Bank inbox, John at 1620thezone.com or Josh at 1620thezone.com. At Equitable, we take banking personally. Answer the phone on the first ring, and the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed at USC 1620. Still have our poll question up for a couple more days.
Oh, yeah.
On what you think Nebraska's record is going to be. Right now, it's running about 49% of you are saying 6-6 or 7-5. So it's still running in that 49-50% range. It's higher than it was right after the end of the season. The positivity still abounds. There hasn't been a huge Casey Rogers.
There's not
Dip.
There is not. No
Casey Rogers dip.
Been similar most of the week.
Yeah,
most of the week.
It really hasn't changed a whole lot.
Yeah,
and like we said in the crossover, it is Friday. There's probably going to be. In fact, I'm going to make a prediction. This is the first prediction of the weekend.
Put it on the list.
Something's going to drop here during the program.
Oh, like a piece of news?
Like a piece of news.
And are you saying an official piece of news? Like, for example, Tate Wildeman, he is no longer listed on Nebraska's roster. If you click on his name off of Google, you get 404. Is that the type of news? Are you saying something other than Mr. Wildeman?
Well, I wasn't even thinking about Tate Wildeman, but I was thinking, I predict there will be. There will be some significant news in the transfer portal.
Okay, news of great significance.
There will be some news of great significance in the transfer portal during the program today.
Okay,
that'll be my first prediction. Okay. That doesn't count in the actual predictions, which comes up later in the program.
Get the eggs. We were talking about the defensive line transfer portal situation and really maybe why Casey Rogers is suddenly a sought-after player given the lack of production. Ross emails into the Equitable Bank inbox. He says, defensive line is such a big need that Minnesota just took a transfer from Houston Baptist, and sure enough, they did. Kyler Bow, 104 total tackles in his career, 11 tackles for loss in 2 seasons at the FCS level. Like, it just, again, not to say that FCS can't have good football players, because it certainly can. We've seen a lot of FCS players go into the pros and perform very, very well. But it just shows, again, the emphasis on specific positions and really how rare maybe good players are, where you're taking anybody. You're taking bodies and you're hoping that they end up, performing well.
Yeah.
In the Power 5 or, in FBS football in general.
When I feel the weather like it is today, it has that feel of June, July, where there's not a lot of huge sports going on.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's just kind of one of those weekends. But, the NBA playoffs is underway.
Oh, yeah.
And a couple of the series have been rather interesting to this point thus far.
Your Warriors, your 16-0 Warriors looking good.
16-0 Warriors
13 more to go.
They are still on pace for 16-0. The Nets find themselves with their backs against the wall. Memphis, what a comeback yesterday.
Oh my gosh, 50-16 run?
A 21-0 run in the NBA.
Dude.
I didn't think that was legal.
Yeah.
Much less possible.
Yeah.
But they bounced back. And
bet of the day winner for your boy.
And how about Jalen Brunson? This guy's really taking it on there for not the Jazz, the team that played the Jazz.
Mavericks.
Dallas. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was drawing a blank there, but
without
he's
Luka?
got something like 72 points and 1 turnover in the playoffs so far.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
To perform this level, and like the Jazz, they have been considered this great regular season team over the last few years, but they have slowly lost the benefit of the doubt if they ever had it in the playoffs, where it's like, cool, congrats on your regular season success, but for whatever reason, they're unable to perform. And if they would have lost against a fully healthy Mavericks team, I don't know if maybe they'd be getting dunked on as much as they have been, but to be down 2-1 to the Luka Doncic-less Dallas Mavericks. I mean, it's one of those losses, John, where if it ends up happening, they don't win the series, where you really do start to look inwardly and saying, what are we doing and how can we get better? It's one thing to lose to Luka. It's another thing to go down 2-1 against a team that does not have the best player and one of the best players in the entire NBA on the floor.
Yeah. So some of those games we'll have in predictions a little bit later on. We'll have some college baseball in our predictions. Jays are playing here against Seton Hall. Nebraska's on the road this weekend at Indiana. I'm sorry, the other at Indiana.
Another team that's struggling this season.
Yes, they are.
The Hoosiers.
Now, it's really a big series because the winner of the series, and I know Nebraska's got a couple of games up on Indiana, but if Nebraska lays an egg this weekend, they're going to be on the outside looking in to the Big Ten tournament, which will be held here at this field later this year. And we've already seen one Big Ten tournament without Nebraska here. This one would be a huge shock if they weren't able to make this one. So this is a big series.
Yeah.
Nebraska's got to hold serve if they're going to stay in the top 8. So big series for them. We'll discuss that with Baz a little bit later on. And when we continue here on the program, it's a Friday. It's kind of a lighthearted Friday. I'm going to play a couple of clips for you. We're going to decide which one's funnier.
Oh,
there were a couple of things said, maybe inadvertently said that people were laughing about. We're going to let you vote on which one you like best.
Okay.
And also, The Athletic has put out their best transfer portal players available list.
Ooh.
And how many are Nebraska looking at? And is a certain someone from Nebraska on that best available list? That and more. And Bill Conley coming up this hour from ESPN.com. 402-951-1620 live here at Charles Schwab Field. Hope everyone enjoys their One Beer Friday. And don't forget, this summer, Storm Chasers are in action all summer long. And we've got a great Storm Chaser prize pack. You can register right now online at 1620thezone.com. It's a great fan experience with 4 game tickets, 4 prize packs of Storm Chasers merch. There's going to be a tour of the facilities by our own Marty Cordero. Not our own, their own.
Wow.
He doesn't work for us.
No.
We work for him.
No, and he doesn't.
He's the president. The president is giving a tour of the ballpark.
Wow.
And
going
to grant you the chance to throw out the first pitch. All you have to do is go to 1620thezone.com right now and register. Back to the ballpark after this on 1620 The Zone.
Big names, big games. We've got them all. 1620 The Zone.
Start your car buying journey today at Woodhouse Ford and experience the difference. Discover a new era in the 2022 Ford Edge. The seamless integration of power, performance, and technology allows you to feel confident on the road. Place a custom order today and design an Edge that meets the demands of your lifestyle. Plus, shop online anytime at woodhouseford.com or visit us in Blair, Omaha, or Plattsmouth.
Guys, let's face it, there is a time when you just need to get out of the house, to have your own place, to be with the guys, or just a quiet, relaxing place for yourself. Well, Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge hears you loud and clear. Settle in. Escape to Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge for an incredible selection, plus premium cocktails, a knowledgeable, friendly staff, state-of-the-art humidor, and incredible lounge. Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 at 48th Street, next to Covey's.
Every Friday, we bring you discounts to some of your favorite businesses in Omaha. Well, we decided that once a week just wasn't enough. Welcome to OmahaWeekendDeals.com, where each weekend you can find discounted deals to even more of your favorite Omaha businesses. This weekend's deal is to Frank's Pizzeria. Frank's is Omaha's home for true New York pizza, calzones, pasta, and more. Now with 2 locations. Get 2 $25 vouchers for the price of 1 to Frank's Pizzeria. Head to OmahaWeekendDeals.com now to get yours. That's OmahaWeekendDeals.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
When I need a new furnace or AC, I choose a company that provides solutions that meet my needs and budget.
When my furnace or AC needs repairs, I call a company with reliable technicians, not commissioned salespeople.
When I need a straight answer, I choose a company that is honest and has integrity.
At Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we provide the best solutions for your needs and budget. It's just part of
the way we do the things we do.
Carrier, turn to the experts.
Hello, I'm Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. If you've been dissatisfied with your current banking situation, maybe it's time to move to a bank that works to deserve your business. We have an engaged staff that offers exceptional personalized service. We also have a great digital banking platform. We have 2 locations at 108th and Dodge or 202nd and Pacific. So if you're looking for a superior banking relationship, give us a call at 402-827-8100. We'll answer on the first ring. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Spilled your milkshake? Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker. And each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading Ordinary brand. So you can get back to your milkshake.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
You're listening to Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone.
Back here live from Charles Schwab Field, John and Josh along with Nick. Bill Conley of ESPN will be joining us here in just a few minutes. Talk some college football. Speaking of college football, of course, the big story this week was that Casey Rogers entered the transfer portal. He's up to at least a half a dozen major offers, USC, Washington, Auburn, Arkansas, Louisville,
Virginia. He tweeted out those 2 offers earlier today.
So he's obviously getting
Oregon State.
Okay, there's 7. So there's obviously a lot of attention there. The Athletic, friend of the program, Max Olson, has been tracking the transfer portal, and they've been ranking the top 15 players available in the transfer portal all off season long.
Yeah.
In fact, Nebraska actually does have a couple of guys who previously did appear in this list who are now at Nebraska. Casey Thompson was 10th on this list at the time that he transferred in to Nebraska from Texas. And Omar Brown, the cornerback from Northern Iowa, was 14th on this list when he transferred in. And Chubba Purdy, back when they were doing the top 25 players, because there were a lot more quarterbacks at that point. He was number 25 on the list. So Nebraska has landed a few here since everything transpired in the offseason. O'Shawn Mathis, now that pretty much all the major wanted quarterbacks are out and have cycled out of the transfer portal, Mathis is now, according to Max Olson of The Athletic, the number 1 most coveted player in the transfer portal, obviously in Nebraska and Texas. We really have not heard a lot, even though Mathis initially announced that USC, Ole Miss, and Penn State were among his top 5. Really haven't heard anything from
quiet.
Those other 3 schools.
Yeah.
It's really been about Nebraska and Texas.
Yeah, and looking at Casey Rogers, and now we've talked about him so far today in the crossover in our first segment, and now Mathis, it really does show the difference maybe in quality of player and why he is, I think, a pretty easy number 1 pick for right now for Max Olson, and that is that this is a player, not only is he a 3-year starter in a Power 5 conference, but he's also an all-conference player. And so this is one of those, in a way, John, they can be a real rarity to see a player of that caliber inside the portal, a grad transfer as well. So he is seems like a pretty solid case for number one. And as Max wrote at the end about him, he says, Texas is the perceived favorite, but Mathis is taking his time with his decision and included the schools you just mentioned, and then obviously Nebraska in his top 5.
The other players that are showing up in their remaining players in the portal, Eric Gentry, who is a former freshman All-American at Arizona State. He's a linebacker. Jalen Robinson, a wide receiver from Central Florida. Deion Smith, a wide receiver from LSU. And Emory Jones is the highest-ranked quarterback. He's a former top 100 recruit from Florida. But when you scroll down the list, look, Marquise Irving. Forgot about him, Bucky Irving from Minnesota. He is still in the transfer portal. He's at number 9 and just outside the top 10. As Casey Kasem would say, entering our countdown this week at number 11, it's Casey Rogers. Yeah, there's Casey Rogers in at number 11 on this list. Now, of the players who are ranked, really the only one that Nebraska's in on right now is O'Shawn Mathis. And I know that obviously they're looking for defensive tackles. They do have a visit this weekend from Devin Drew, who's transferring from Texas Tech. I'm curious to know, was this visit I'm assuming this visit was already planned, because Nebraska still needed somebody, another defensive lineman.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming this isn't one of those that just got thrown together at the last minute. It's like, oh crap, we lost Casey Rogers. Quick, get on the phone, find someone who's transferring. I'm assuming this has been set up for a while.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when his name first popped up. In terms of a potential visitor. I honestly don't remember, just with how much has been kind of moving and shaking recently. But yeah, this was a position, it's so funny. I had a question for Schaefer on Wednesday before the news broke, and that was going to be, hey, beyond Mathis, what type of numbers are you expecting them to be looking at with the defensive line? So now with the Tate Wildeman news, and as he's been described by some, including Evan Bland in the start of his story, deep reserve. Like, this was not a player that, they were expecting to be a massive contributor, but with him now gone as well, he's no longer listed on the team's online roster. And according to Bland, a source confirmed that he will not enter the transfer portal. He's just done playing
He's retired.
Football. So with him gone, though, they are now down to 8 defensive linemen. So yeah, to answer the question that you were just posing, I think that they were going to get more bodies. They need to get more bodies, because this has now become a math problem. It's less of a impact player and needing an all-conference caliber guy. It's more about needing bodies that can take up space and really not get hurt, because there's just not enough guys behind them. And that presents a problem for the defensive line. As we talked about in the crossover, it presents a problem for the linebackers. It presents a problem for the entire defense. We saw late in the year when that line thinned up a little bit, they got gashed by Wisconsin on the road in Madison. It was a solid run defense before that, though. They did a solid enough job. But if that disappears, and I mean, look, we've been watching football long enough, man. We know what it looks like when a team cannot stop the run, and how that can just break the team's will. If hey, it's 3rd and 4, the offense gets 5 yards on the ground. So it's like I said, it's become a math problem now for the defensive line.
All right. So last night there were a couple of interesting quotes. Off of social media and from television last night. Which of these that are now likely going to be drops is the better of the two? The first one is from Daryl Moose Johnston.
Moose! What the hell's he doing?
He's the grand poobah of the USFL. He's kind of the overseer of the, he's going to introduce himself here.
Thank you, Moose.
But apparently they've had some issues with the balls.
Oh.
Yeah, they've had some issues. The kickers don't like the balls.
Hate having
so
issues with the balls.
Moose went to social media to explain what they're going to be doing this weekend in the USFL.
Hi, this is Daryl Johnston, executive.
Nick, you want to bring up the audio for me? Thanks.
Hi, this is Daryl Johnston, Executive Vice President of Football Operations for the USFL. We made a change to our policy this week, and we want to let you know about this going into week 2. Our specialist came to us with concerns about the sensor technology impacting the kicking balls that we were using during the course of the game. So starting this week, we will be going back to a more traditional K-ball structure in the USFL. All of our specialists will be kicking their own balls when it comes to kickoffs, punts.
Ooh, ouchies.
They'll be kicking their own balls.
Don't want to kick my own balls. No,
They'll
thank
be
you.
kicking their own balls.
All of our specialists will be kicking their own balls.
Ooh, ouch. Ooh.
Somehow this drop could really come in handy if Nebraska continues to have issues with its specialists.
Oh, why would you say so?
Well, I'm saying if they continue to have. We're hoping they don't.
If the kicking
but if
game
they do,
is bleak.
But if the kicking game is bleak,
all of our specialists will be kicking their own balls.
Exactly.
All
So
right.
that drop may come in handy. And then Charles Barkley.
Oh, baby.
Inside the NBA.
I mean, he's just banging and banging and banging. When a guy's banging you, you spin off of him. Those are the worst defenders to play against, actually, because if you can feel their body, come on.
18 points for Joker, only Nugget in double figures. 69-59, Golden State.
69. See, that was the one they didn't pick up on. That was the first thing when I saw that for the first time. It was like Ernie was saying, and 69-59. If someone would have dropped in a nice there, it would have been the hat trick. But we do get the great Charles Barkley.
If you are not watching on Zone TV, I recommend you go watch the video because you can tell at a certain point Charles is realizing.
He realizes,
oh, no,
yes.
I've been saying something that could be construed as funny. And then when he says like the one thing like halfway through the clip, and then they laugh more and he goes, come on. Like he immediately like we've been there before where you're saying something, you're like, gosh darn it, this is going to be a drop.
I mean,
Well
he's just
done.
banging and banging and banging. When a guy's banging you,
I think we know which one the winner is.
Oh, it's the latter.
We know which one the winner is, but I think they'll both have uses.
Yeah, oh yeah.
At some point.
Oh yeah.
Down
he's
the
just
road.
banging and banging and banging. When a guy's banging you,
Nice. There you go. That's what I like to hear.
Oh.
All right, coming up next. I told you it's a Friday. It's a loose day. It's a fun day. There's garbage sacks blowing across the field. For a fleeting second, Josh, I took a glance out there and I thought, my God, it's a damn beach ball.
You're getting pre-triggered.
I'm
for the
getting
cultural
pre-triggered
series.
by the stupid beach balls I'm going to see in June. Bill Conley, ESPN.com, joins us next here on Unsportsmanlike Conduct and 1620 The Zone. But first, I told you it's a fun Friday. And, well, if you want your weekends to start being fun again, guys, stop timing all of your fun moments to the taking of a little blue pill. While it works, there's still side effects. Plus, you don't know when it's going to be that time. Wouldn't you just rather have it be like it used to be where it was like, what? Grass is on the field. Let's play ball. No. Well, you can get that now with the non-surgical, non-invasive advanced wave technology available at Brookside Medical Clinic. That's right. I said non-surgical and non-invasive. You can get treatment and be going and get on that field right away. And right now, if you call Brookside at 402-671-7777, you can get a free ultrasound, blood flow ultrasound, and a consultation with Brookside to find out if the advanced wave technology is right for you. The advanced wave technology helps restore and regrow blood vessels, gets that blood flowing again, because that's the important thing. That's what makes everything work. So call Brookside today, 402-671-7777. Tell them John at the Zone sent you and take advantage of that free offer. Blood flow ultrasound and consultation from Brookside Medical, 402-671-7777.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Email any of our shows anytime into the Equitable Bank inbox. At Equitable, we take banking personally. For me, John at 1620thezone.com. The Equitable Bank inbox from 1620 The Zone.
Searching for your next vehicle? Shop Woodhouse first. Over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles in stock and on our lots, with new trades arriving daily that you can explore on woodhouse.com. Plus, confidence comes standard when you purchase a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse. With our multi-point inspection, transparent pricing, available add-on warranties, and financing options, purchasing a pre-owned vehicle has never been simpler. Experience the difference and drive away today confident and road-ready in your new vehicle from Woodhouse.
When life gives you lemons, it's time for Godfather's Pizza Spring Feast, featuring my new lemon bar streusel. This tangy, lemony dessert is perfect with any medium specialty pizza, piled high with the best toppings and lots of them, plus loads of mozzarella on top. Add any medium one-topping pizza, and you got my new spring feast. But you better hurry. Summer's right around the corner. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
I love my hardwood floors, but I wasn't sure how to take care of them. Carrying around a bucket was such a hassle. And even worse, my string mop left streaks and haze behind. Then I found Swiffer Wet Jet Wood, the all-in-one tool made specially for wood floors. Its microfiber-like pad is soft, and it sprays a light mist solution that dries fast. With Swiffer Wet Jet Wood, it's easy to keep up with the mess on my wood floors. Even that mess.
Swiffer Wet Jet Wood, proud member of the National Wood Floor Association.
I tend to second-guess dinners with friends because they're often interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall. If you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit Creon.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON.com.
Sponsored by AbbVie.
Well, Nebraska, we knew it would happen. The political establishment and their dark money are flooding the airwaves with negative ads filled with lies. Their target, conservative Charles W. Herbster. They attacked President Trump. Now they're lying about Charles W. Herbster. Fact, Charles Herbster will cut taxes for all Nebraskans. His pledge, property taxes must be cut, and no new taxes on gas, medicine, or groceries. Fact, Charles Herbster has paid all his taxes and fees, every single penny. Fact, Charles is the only conservative candidate with the courage to finally fix our broken tax system, once and for all. The political establishment and dark money special interests, they won't tell you the truth. Charles W. Herbster is the only conservative who will cut taxes and fix our broken system. Paid for by Herbster for Nebraska.
At Dingman's, our first priority is protecting your safety. We are here to be your personal advocate to ensure you receive safe, proper repairs by the highest skilled technicians in the industry. Stop in to experience the Dingman difference today. At Dingman's, we would rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
If there's one thing that you can count on every spring, it's that we're going to have to deal with some hail. J-Tech Construction is the company to call to make it right again. J-Tech Construction specializes in siding, roofing, windows, and gutters, even solar. They're trained for insurance claims assistance, and they can help with your insurance company. Turn to the team the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Use your favorite search engine to find J-Tech Construction online and schedule a free estimate today.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Welcome back to Charles Schwab Field. John and Josh with you on this One Beer Friday. Don't forget, you can keep sending us your pics of what you're enjoying on this One Beer Friday, and use the hashtag One Beer Friday when you tag us on the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed at USC1620. Bill Conley is joining us on the hotline this afternoon from ESPN.com, the man behind the SP Plus and some great observations and articles on college football. Bill, good afternoon. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you.
You wrote earlier this week, and we talked about it earlier on this program, your story about super leagues, and obviously right now, the future of college athletics, especially college football and men's basketball, seem to be as up in the air as ever because of both the transfer portal and NIL. And it would seem to lend itself to the idea that we could be seeing a lot more consolidation of the game down the road. I'm curious, when you think of this question, Bill, where do you see college football in 10 years? I mean, does it look still structurally like it does now, or could we be seeing more massive changes from how the conferences are aligned and the teams are aligned within a decade?
Well, I mean, I think, especially if this last year was any indication, no matter what changes on the field, it's going to look like college football. We saw NIL take over last fall. We saw transfers at a higher rate than ever, and it was still a college football product that we saw. And it was mostly enjoyable in a college football way, so to speak. So, I mean, that's kind of reassuring, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm still kind of unconvinced that we're going to go down this road of ending up with like 30 major programs and that's it. Like, there's a lot of money in college football. And one of my main points in this piece was talking about, we're probably going to end up paying athletes salaries here at some point, unless the NIL collective is basically kind of work as a substitute in that regard. And when we do, I think we're going to find that a lot of programs are willing to do that, even at even outside of like the top 25 or 30. So I guess my best guess right now as to where we might be headed is the P5 break apart kind of thing that we've been talking about for a while. I kind of feel like that's maybe what we'll end up calling the quote unquote Super League of college football. It's about 70 teams there, but we'll see.
Bill, when you start thinking about like hangups, I wonder which direction you kind of go in is maybe the biggest roadblock to prevent something like this happening. Would it be, as you laid out, talking about like Olympic sports, how that conversation of football and even men's basketball split up, what happens then with the other sports? Would you look at that area? Or I wonder if you look at maybe the leadership vacuum in the sport, because 2 years ago in 2020, it seems like that would have been the perfect chance for everyone to come together. We saw what happened there. And then even the attempt to create or expand on the college football playoff last year, that turned into its own disaster. So I wonder which of those two, or maybe even a third or fourth option, you look at as this is the reason why something like this probably won't happen anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't think we're to the point where anybody like Greg Sankey's not going to announce tomorrow, as I kind of put together in the piece, he's not going to come out tomorrow and say, we're going to pay all of our athletes $100,000 a year. If you want to join us, great. We're going to call the winner of our conference the national champions. Let's go. It's not going to be anything like that. But this one's a little more, all it kind of takes is for a few rumblings or a few schools saying they're willing to do it, or a conference, a major conference, the Big Ten or the SEC saying they're willing to do it. And that makes things move very, very quickly. Because what we saw, I kind of had some of these thoughts for this piece kind of sketched out last July after the OU and Texas 2 SEC thing. But I wanted to kind of sit on it for a little bit just to see if I could take it in a more unique direction. And I'm glad I did, because at the time we were all talking about like a 32-team SEC kind of Super League, which I really don't think is realistic. But what we saw at that time is that everybody's acting in their own interest when it comes to this. We don't want to, whatever's happened, we don't want to miss out on it. We don't want to get left behind. Even if we end up in the same conference as USC, Clemson, and Oklahoma State, we're not going to get left behind. And when that happens, it kind of assures that some crazy could be on the horizon. I'm just not real sure how it's going to take shape. But no, this isn't something where everybody has to agree. This is something where one or two people declare it and everybody else has to follow.
Bill Conley of ESPN joining us here on Unsportsmanlike Conduct. As you wrote your story, you drew the analogy towards what European soccer attempted to do a couple of summers ago, or last summer, I think it was, with some of the more powerful teams trying to spiral off and create a super league. Obviously, those are professional organizations, and they don't have, well, they don't have to worry about Title IX.
Yeah.
They're not attached to a university. And of course, you've got all the conferences and all the historical ties that all of those have. I've always said, Bill, that if we're going to get real massive change, and when I say real massive change, I mean super leagues, I mean paying players, that you somehow have to find a way to untether the programs from the schools. Because if the schools are no longer liable and essentially Nebraska football becomes its own separate entity, they just rent the property that they're currently on from the university, it makes it a lot easier for a lot of these other big picture things to happen. Do you think that conversation has ever happened before amongst the big schools?
Well, I mean, I think it's safe to say that all of these conversations have happened. I mean, coaches especially. I don't talk to a lot of athletic directors. Coaches talk and gossip and speculate about stuff all day, and so it is kind of an interesting, because it would just be a structural thing. Nebraska football would still be Nebraska football, but it'd be like its own little LLC or whatever,
right?
In conjunction. So, however that needs to happen, it will happen. I mean, we went from the idea of an NIL collective having no one ever heard of it before to being widespread in like a year. So whatever, once we know who's willing to do this and who's going to do this, like whatever needs to happen there behind the scenes will. Now, you brought up Title IX. You guys brought up Title IX. That is an interesting conundrum here. I mean, obviously you could just say you're paying everybody in your athletics department, and since the numbers are already equal, then there you go. But do you have to pay them all the same? Football players make the same as men's and women's golfers, for instance. How does that all work? Like that, there are a lot of messy details here that need to be figured out. But I think it's pretty clear that somebody's going to be trying to figure that out relatively soon, 5 or 10 years, I think, just based on, the momentum of everything else, but based on the lawsuits that have come about. We're going to be having these conversations pretty soon.
Bill, I wonder if speaking of soon, I wonder if you think the next round of television contracts might be like a window into where things are going. And mainly I'm talking about like the separation of value, between the Big Ten and the SEC versus the rest of the leagues, because that's where I start to wonder about if you're a power in the ACC, for example, locked into a long-term television contract, and you start looking around and saying, wow, we're trying to compete in the same sport, and yet we're falling so far behind revenue-wise just because of how our television contract is. Could that be a window, I guess, into the future, maybe some frustrations by schools in the ACC or especially the Pac-12 or even Big 12?
I mean, frustration with TV contracts in general has created a lot of the change we've seen over the last 12 years or so with conference realignment. So that would not be a surprise at all, I don't think. I can't decide what I think is most realistic in that regard. There aren't that many ACC programs that could say we're frustrated and ready to leave, and like the Big Ten would say, okay, well, come on down. There aren't really all that many that could do that. But it is interesting, and it does make you think about the way the playoff negotiations or expansion negotiations stalled out here. Now, I mean, I think we all understand that, they wanted to wait until the current contracts are over so they can bid it out to a bunch of different networks and make even more money. And that's great. That makes sense. But this was, I mean, number one, it was a way for the other 5 FBS conferences to kind of try to latch on here and make sure that they don't get, that the P5 doesn't break apart from the rest of them. They're involved in that part of the scenario. But then also the chance for the ACC and the Pac-12 and the Big 12 to make sure they were involved as well. And nobody could, even as we saw 2 years ago with COVID, as we see now with the playoff renegotiations, even when it's in everybody's best interest to come together, they can't not do it. Yep. And it's just a constant embarrassment. And I don't completely know what that means going forward, but I think that's probably not going to change.
Bill Conley of ESPN joining us on Unsportsmanlike Conduct on this Friday afternoon. The thing that NIL combined with the transfer portal has now brought us is the likelihood that tampering, which has always been around, we can't pretend like it hasn't been, but it certainly seems to almost encourage it more than anything else. In the conversations you've had with coaches, do you think they are really all that concerned about how much tampering is now going on in the sport? And is it really any greater than it was previously?
There's probably more motivation. It's probably bigger now just because there are more players that schools think they could get to move, right? I mean, it's just a more frequent thing, but it's one of those things where people are going to complain. It's like the recruiting calendars that every coach is currently complaining about the recruiting /transfer /whatever calendar, and they want windows for transfers and all this other stuff. But you have any two coaches, they're not gonna have the same recommendation. There's no obvious solution for how those windows should take shape. It's the same way with tampering, fixing that aspect of it. How do you fix it? Like, the whole point is that it's really hard to, lock down and confirm and everything else. So I don't see that changing. So I don't know how you fix it, even if they wanted to. But no, it's just something they're going to complain about because it feels good to complain, and it happens to you as much as you're doing it to other people. So you can always feel victimized about that, I guess.
Bill, speaking of complaining and moving away from this conversation, there was the usual debate about Scott Frost. I mean, it literally is like every minute of every day these days. But there was some I saw earlier this week on the old Twitter timeline, and there was, I guess, a discussion because I know that the FPI really likes Nebraska moving into the 2022 season. I know that your numbers, just considering the record of the program, I would say is kind of bullish, a top 40-ish team. But one listener, said the fact that Frost teams are so much better on paper than on the field makes it pretty easy to blame the head coach. It's actually worse that he's doing less with more. I wonder, the lesson of, because I'm looking at your SP Plus rankings from 2020. Nebraska went 3-5. You had them 32nd. Last year, after 3-9, you had them 37th. When you have that high of a number consistently, but the record doesn't, the neighborhood of teams in that top 40 doesn't really jive, can that tell us something about a head coach, or are we getting into a tricky territory since it still is a season-to-season ranking?
Right. I mean, it tells you that coach puts a product on the field that should be winning a lot of games, and that's part of the equation too. They're also not, so clearly that's a kind of a noteworthy part of the conversation. But the fact that they're producing this quality, the efficiency levels and everything else are conducive to 7-8 win seasons or whatever. It certainly. It creates a conflicting picture. My old friend Bud Elliott, a coworker of mine at SB Nation back in the day, now he's at 247 Sports. He always talked about how there's kind of a close game recipe, so to speak, of head coach plus quarterback plus kicker, more or less. And if you know those things, if you know the quality of the coach in certain situations, and clock management and fourth down decision making, all these things, and the quality of the quarterback, the mistake prone nature of the quarterback, and the quality of the kicker, you're probably going to know who did pretty well in close games and who didn't. Mm-hmm. Obviously, quarterback and kicker were major issues for Nebraska last year. Maybe that absolves Frost for last year because I don't remember his time management being just ridiculous or anything. I could be blocking out certain examples, but it does kind of feel like, in any way, shape, or form, this is a put up or shut up year. I mean, so he's either going to win and keep his job or lose and not keep his job. And if he wins, then it was probably getting those situations better, doing those situations better, getting better quarterback play, and actually making an occasion. And that's probably going to make the difference there. But it is hard. I mean, he's doing well enough to rank in the top 40. That is an indicator of coming success. It's just, been waiting on that success for a little while now.
Well, as Josh alluded to, FPI gave Nebraska a greater percentage chance, slightly, but a greater percentage chance of winning the division this year than Wisconsin, based on the schedule and, of course, their rankings. And Josh just established, you've had Nebraska as a top 40 team. When you get to your Big Ten previews, do you estimate that Nebraska is going to have a decent chance of winning the division in your numbers this fall?
Well, SP Plus has always been just absolutely in undying love with Nebraska. So that kind of answers part of that question. It will never quit on Nebraska or on Wisconsin, either. But just looking at right now, I can tell you that the average projected win total for Nebraska this year is going to be about 7.5. Most of that comes up front, which could be good, could be bad. I mean, if you're thinking about Frost's fortunes, they're going to be favored in 5 of the first 6 games, and Oklahoma's a relative toss-up. That's conducive to a great start. They're only favored in 1 of the last 6 games, so with a lot of toss-ups there too. So you could see kind of a quote-unquote collapse if they keep losing close games. But it seems like this is a team that should win 7-8 games at least, and look back on a nice step forward. But that's what we would have said last year too. So it's all about the burden of proof here.
Well, we will anticipate those Big Ten preseason previews when you get to them. That'll probably be what, July? You're still working your way through the group of 5.
That's right. We had to take a break when the whole Sun Belt Conference USA, Southern Miss only had 20 games on the schedule. Kind of had to wait till that was all taken care of. But we're rolling again with the Sun Belt now, and Big Ten will probably be July now.
Well,
All
Bill,
right.
we appreciate it. Have a great weekend. Thanks for your time.
You too. Thank you.
Phil Conley joining us here on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
So I'm looking at the SP Plus numbers. This is postseason, right after the year ended, and the national championship was won by Georgia. So Nebraska easily the highest-ranked sub-500 team. They were 37th.
Yep.
I'm going to read some records of the teams around them: 9-4, 10-4, 10-4, 11-3, 7-6. You got to go all the way down, John, to 48, so 11 spots lower to find the next sub-500 team, and that is Texas. If you're looking for a 4-8 team to say, okay, let's get actually in their neighborhood of wins, you got to go all the way down to 82, and that's where USC was sitting at 4-8. The first or the second, 3-9 team comes at 87th place. That's Colorado State. They went 3-9 last year. So I found that tweet. I want to give credit to who the listener was that said it was Brian. He said that in a conversation that I was attached to the other day. And I'm with Bill, I'm with Brian as well. At a certain point, if your numbers are saying, hey, you're way better than this, but your record is saying the exact opposite, those two things are diametrically opposed. They really are.
Well, put a pin in that because we may get back to it in the happy hour today. And you heard Bill say projected wins will probably be around 7.5, which is right around where ESPN's FPI has them, right about 7.5.
John writes 7.5, Vikings and the under.
Well, yeah, we did the poll 2 weeks ago. It was last week when FPI, said 7.5 wins, and it was about 75-25 to the under, if that would be the Vegas line. I think the Vegas win total will be 6 or 6.5.
Yeah.
It'll be one of those two. It won't be 7. But they'll get plenty of action at 6 and 6.5.
Yeah.
Which has kind of been a popular number for Nebraska the last handful of seasons.
I almost wonder,
honestly.
We discussed it recently. I almost wonder if 6 is the number, just because they've never gotten to 500, let alone above 500 in the Frost era. And if you're Vegas, you're looking at it, you're opening yourself up to a lot of liability if you have their win total at 6.5, because I think 6.5, a lot of people pound the under. I think 6 is tougher because, and look, it could end up as a push, but I think there'd be a lot more internal debate, I think, if the number was at 6, whereas I think you'd get way more people on the under if it was 6.5. But that's just my guess.
It's the off season when people are excited about pictures of artificial turf.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just retweeted it from the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed at USC 1620. If you want to see what the field looks like now with new turf laid down, you can see it for yourself. No more alternating lighter green, darker green every 5 yards.
Sad.
Now, I saw some of the comments that people were excited about how the red in the end zone pops now a little bit more. I'll be honest with you. I don't see the difference. I'd like to see a side-by-side. It looks exactly the same. I think it was a missed opportunity to redecorate the field. They really should have done that. They should have redecorated the field.
I was honestly kind of sad when I saw the end zone. It's like, oh, it's the same end zone.
It is. It's the same. It's the same.
Boring.
I'd like to see. This was a chance.
Make it a blue end zone.
Ohio State did like a draw your own design, and they had a vote, and they did all kinds of fancy stuff. Yeah. In Nebraska, I guess we're just.
Maybe that's why Dylan Raiola is apparently going to Ohio State.
No, that might be true. Yep. You think there's time to change it if that would change his mind?
Yeah. If that would guarantee it.
If Dylan Raiola said, I want the Bishop idea of a corn cob in the end zone and stalks of corn growing around the perimeter of the field like the hedges in Athens, Georgia, I will come to Nebraska. How quick before they start plowing up land and changing out the field?
I know somebody in the athletic department is listening to the program right now. They would call Trev or Trev's secretary and be like, listen to what's going on here. This is official. We got to do this. It happened by tomorrow.
Missed opportunity, I
yep,
guess.
It really is.
We'll just have to deal with Chubba for the next 4 years playing on this field.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so.
All right. Back with more of Unsportsmanlike Conduct in just a minute. Chris Basnett is next. We'll ask him about Casey Rogers, how excited he is for the turf, and a preview of Husker baseball this weekend. It's all coming up right here on Unsportsmanlike Conduct in 1620 The Zone.
Zone, taste of our takes. Sharp and Benning in the morning.
Ted Ginn Jr. is along with Johnny Rogers, Mike Rozier.
You had a line about your ears versus listening. What was that line again, and where did that come from?
Shut your mouth and just listen. I've just been an old soul. I always had guys that was 8 years, 10 years, 12 years older than me, teaching me game, just being in that field. As I got older, I kind of understood things a little differently.
For more, tune in every day to 1620 AM or go to 1620thezone.com. Your Omaha area forecast from Canoyer Garden Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly cloudy, windy, and very warm for your Friday, with highs this afternoon topping out in the mid-80s to even the lower 90s further west. Wind advisories remain in place throughout the afternoon and into early evening. Gusts possible out of the south today between 45 to 55 miles an hour. Chance for storms as we head overnight tonight, few of which may become strong to severe. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
Do you know the common signs of transmission trouble?
Your engine revs before falling into gear. Shifting is rough, or you're leaking reddish-brown fluid.
Knowing the signs could mean repair instead of replace.
That's where we come in. We're certified transmission.
The job done right at the right price.
Hey guys, spring is here and the honeydew list has begun. If you're getting ready to clean up your yard, Lanahaw is your one stop for all landscape needs. Buy your mulch at Lanahaw Nurseries. Best quality at the best price. Convenient delivery or pickup. Lanahaw Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
My mom's the bomb. Her hugs are so good there's a wait list. Her laughter is the life of the party. Her smile makes everyone smile. Everything worth knowing, I learned from her. That's why this Mother's Day, I'm heading to Hellsberg Diamonds. They have beautiful diamond pendants, gemstone rings, and more. Hellsberg makes it easy to find a gift she'll love, one that hopefully she'll pass down to me one day, along with her secret to perfect hugs. Save big on mom-worthy gifts at a Hellsberg store near you or at hellsberg.com. Hurry, Mother's Day is Sunday, May 8th.
1620 The Zone, live and local, broadcasting 6A to 6P in the Host Coffee Zone studio. Host Coffee, building healthy and happy break room refreshment services to Omaha and Lincoln metro area businesses. Discover a better break room solution for your office at sales@hostcoffee.net.
Searching for your next vehicle? Shop Woodhouse first. Over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles in stock and on our lots, with new trades arriving daily that you can explore on woodhouse.com. Plus, confidence comes standard when you purchase a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse. With our multi-point inspection, transparent pricing, available add-on warranties, and financing options, purchasing a pre-owned vehicle has never been simpler. Experience the difference and drive away today confident and road-ready in your new vehicle from Woodhouse.
The most wonderful time of year is upon us again. No, not Christmas. Oyster Fest at Shuck's Fish House. Wednesday and Thursday, April 27th and 28th. $6 a dozen Harbor House oysters plus many other specials. All 3 locations. Find out more at shucksfishhouse.com.
Does eating at home have you singing the blues? Stop by Cops, 72nd and Jones, or the Shadow Lake Town Center to grab a delicious pizza, fresh salad, and some tasty charred wings. Cops Shadow Lake Town Center just added 30 new menu items, including salmon, certified Angus beef fillets, ribeyes and sirloins, several pasta dishes, and an extensive variety of shareable appetizers. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Cops, 72nd and Jones, and the Shadow Lake Town Center. Click copspizza.com to see the extensive new Shadow Lake menu.
Are you tired of living with chronic pain, knee pain, joint pain? Listen carefully, because now there are new treatments available. I'm not talking surgery or steroids. These are regenerative treatments from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics. Hey, this is Damon Benning. QC Kinetics is the leader in these exciting biological therapies that help restore and repair damaged tissue in joints with lasting results. If you've got a pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back, joint pain that won't go away, you need to check out these new treatments with astonishing patient satisfaction reports. They can actually help your body restore and repair itself. No downtime, no drugs, no surgery. That is right in my wheelhouse. Call now to schedule your free consultation at QC Kinetics, 402-205-4960. You need to learn more about how biological therapies are changing the way you think about dealing with joint pain? It's exciting stuff. Don't wait. Call today. QC Kinetics, 402-205-4960. That's 402-205-4960.
Dingman's Mechanical Repair. We would rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
It's unsportsmanlike conduct.
They have to play with themselves.
The 1620. The Zone.
Chris Basnett joining us from the Lincoln Journal Star, HuskerExtra.com.
Have you ever had a show that you loved to join, held them close to your heart like a commemorative coin? Let me tell you a story of my situation. I used to join the best show in the U.S. nation, but all of a sudden, some young'un came to be and stole all my thunder at 1620. His golf sure is a dope he wouldn't hesitate to lend. The boys at Unsportsmanlike Conduct told me he was just a friend. You got what I need.
He's just such a natural.
But you say Chris is just a friend. But you say Chris is just a friend. Oh, baby, you.
I think the sky's the limit.
You got what I need.
I don't know if you learn a lot of these things.
But you say Chris is just a friend. You say Chris is just a friend.
It was perfectly boring.
And Michigan has just walked off Ohio State.
What a comeback.
They were down 7-3 in the 7th, and they were down to their last strike several times in the 9th, and then got a game-tying home run, and they've just got a walk-off single with the bases loaded to beat Ohio State. Now, what this means for Nebraska, it's probably actually good news because Michigan was already ahead of Nebraska by a couple of games, but right now you're just trying to keep the teams behind you from catching you for 8th place. And while Nebraska does have the series sweep over Ohio State, I don't know what you think, Baz, but it's probably 6 of one half dozen of the other. You could find a positive in either result. Right now, it's just up to Nebraska to take care of its own mess.
Yeah, it doesn't matter much what anybody else in the Big Ten does right now. Nebraska's got 15 Big Ten games left, and they just need to win as many of them as they can. And whether that means you win, 15 of them or 12 of them or 8 of them, you've got to win enough to be in the top 8, and that's all that matters. You're not worried about a conference championship, and you're not worried about seeding in the Big Ten tournament. You're worried about getting into the Big Ten tournament. The only way you're going to do that is to win as many games as possible. So yeah, let everybody else worry about their thing, and you worry about, as Will Bolt likes to say, you got to worry about winning today, and that's what they're focused on.
Where do you think Nebraska baseball is at mentally right now, Baz, as they head into the last week of April and then the final month of the season before the Big Ten tournament?
Well, I think they're in postseason mode. You about have to be. And again, the coach said the other night they're playing for their lives, which is kind of a wild thing to say. With 8-9 days still left in April right now, especially after what happened last year. But that's the reality of it. They're basically in postseason mode right now, and it's not that one loss is going to eliminate Nebraska from the Big Ten tournament, but you just can't afford too many of them. So for everything that's happened this year, for as poorly as Nebraska's played at times, for as many 1-run, 2-run losses as they've had, still tied for 6th in the Big Ten, and you're still playing teams that are behind you in the standings down the stretch, and the teams ahead of you that you're playing don't necessarily scare the living daylights out of you. So it's about taking care of one day at a time. It's the old cliche, and it's more apt than ever for Nebraska baseball. They just have to worry about Friday against Indiana, and then worry about tomorrow against Indiana, and then worry about Sunday against Indiana, and then move on to the next week.
Who's pitching after Cody Frank this weekend?
TBD. I don't know if you know who TBD is, but they appear to have several of those guys. It's actually Shea Shanneman tonight. And we'll have to wait and see what the rest of the weekend looks like. Yeah. I would assume Cody Frank is one of those, as long as he's feeling good after his start the other night. They had a little bit of an injury concern the previous week, which is why they held him out, but he felt good the other day, obviously, when he threw 6 2/3 innings of one-hit ball. So as long as he's feeling good, I assume he's going to go on Saturday. Then he just figured out for Sunday.
And Indiana's kind of in the same boat as Nebraska. Indiana's right now behind Nebraska in the conference standings by a couple of games. But their situation, they had a lot of guys. They lost a lot of players into the draft. Their pitching has taken a real hit. Their pitching's not particularly good. Can Nebraska win this series? I think this series might kind of set the tone for the rest of the run here. If Nebraska is going to make this conference tournament, can they win this series in Bloomington?
Yeah, absolutely they can. And they could go out and get swept too. I think that's just where Nebraska's at right now. They could absolutely win this series. Indiana, like you said, they just lost so much from last year. They remind me of Ohio State a little bit. They can hit it some, but they're not necessarily a great pitching team, and that doesn't mean Nebraska's going to go do to Indiana what they did to Ohio State a few weeks ago. But you like Nebraska's pitching in this matchup. We know what the offense is, but we've also seen this offense score runs against pitching staffs that have been, overmatched a little bit. So it's I'm not worried about that part of it. Nebraska's going to have chances to win all three of these games. There's no doubt about that. You're not playing, a Rutgers or a Maryland this weekend. You're playing a team that's 2-7 in the Big Ten in a conference that isn't very good this year, to be quite frank about it. So, yeah, absolutely, Nebraska can win this series. Now, with the way Nebraska's gone this year, anything's on the table. They can't roll out the baseballs and expect to win, as Darren Erstad used to like to say all the time. So they've got to go out and take care of business. But, yeah, this is absolutely a series Nebraska can win.
Baz, turning to football, we began the week by asking our listeners what because we're checking in 4 times throughout the offseason on, hey, what do you think Nebraska's record is going to be? And I remember we, at the outset of the week, we were talking, how has this changed compared to what you felt like after the season ended last November? And so I want to take that question for you, but also add the extra twist of the news that came in the middle of the week with Casey Rogers. I guess, had your opinion on what you expected Nebraska to do on the field changed from end of regular season to end of spring ball? And if so, or if not, what did Wednesday's news mean for how you view them going into late August against Northwestern?
No, nothing's changed. I mean, we still hardly know anything about this team right now. We saw the starters play touch football for a half in the spring game. And so we just don't know. Now, is Casey Rogers the difference between 2 wins? Probably not. I mean, he hurts. Losing him hurts, no doubt about it. You're talking about a guy that started 1 game for Nebraska in his time here. So, yeah, it hurts depth, but I don't look at that. It's not like they're losing a Damakong Suh up front. And I don't mean that as any disrespect to Casey, who's a fine player, but look, there's attrition every offseason, and you always are going to lose guys you maybe don't expect to lose every offseason, and this is another case of that. So, no, my opinion hasn't changed because I don't really have an opinion because we don't know. I haven't seen enough to form an opinion yet. They might be fine offensively when the season starts. They might be fine on the defensive line when the season starts. They may not be, but we just with so little information to go off of, it's just really hard, I think, for me to make an opinion right now.
Our Friday friend, Chris Bazinet from the Lincoln Journal-Star, HuskerExtra.com, joining us here on Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Rogers, in his closing statement, if you want to call it that, on his social media, left the door open to returning. Now, I asked this question knowing I just saw Parker Gabriel tweet out an update. Rogers is taking a visit to USC, I believe this weekend. That's one of the teams that has offered him. But what odds would you place on Rogers actually walking back through that open door?
Pretty low, I think. Pretty low. I look to 20% maybe, because look at the offers he's gotten in the few days he's been on the market. He's going to have no shortage of suitors, and he's going to have no shortage of chances to play at some pretty attractive places. If I was him, I'd be taking a visit to USC too, if they were going to offer me a scholarship chance to play out there. He's got an offer from an SEC school. There's going to be opportunities for Casey Rogers to play just about anywhere in the country. Now, does that mean he's going to go play for a blue blood or something like that? Not necessarily, but he's going to have opportunities to play in power conferences just about anywhere he wants to go. So you never totally rule it out. And who knows? Maybe some of this comes down to what kind of NIL deal he can get as a graduate student, as a 5th-year guy. And if he doesn't find something to his liking, or doesn't find something that maybe can compare to what he'd get at Nebraska, then maybe he comes back. I don't know. I think that's something else you got to consider in all this too. But no, I think the odds of him coming back are pretty low, just based on the offers he's already gotten this week.
As we learned within the last, 24 hours or so, Juwan Gary out of Alabama. He is going to be joining Nebraska's basketball team. I saw one quote from him. It's been making the rounds. He seems very confident in his abilities and what that could mean for Nebraska and, I guess, NCAA tournament hopes. What type of realistic option, though, is Nebraska gaining with this news?
Well, you're gaining a guy that's a really good athlete that by all accounts has a really high motor, that has length and has athleticism, and played in a power conference and played on a pretty good team in a power conference. Now, You know, his minutes were limited. He obviously started 16 games, but only averaged 15, 16 minutes a game, only averaged about 6.5 points, 3.5 rebounds a game. So it's not like you're picking up a dude that went out and averaged 19 a game for UCLA or something like that. And he's not going to necessarily change the trajectory of Nebraska's program, even though that's something he kind of has talked about over the last couple of days. But look, I think he'll help. I think with the changes you're going to see Nebraska make schematically, especially on the defensive end, he's the type of guy you need, just a long, athletic guy that's going to play hard and can play multiple positions defensively, and can go get you some buckets inside. He's not a great shooter; the percentages bear that out. But at the same time, he's an athlete, and he can play above the rim, and you'll take those in the Big Ten. To me, what more than anything is what this does is signal maybe kind of a change in approach in a little bit for Fred Hoiberg. They're not maybe going to necessarily be the spread the floor, five out or 4 around 1 all the time like we've seen the previous 3 years. I think Fred realizes he's got to get more physical, and they've got to get tougher, and they've got to be better defensively. And this is what DeJuan Gary's going to bring to that team is some toughness and some physicality and effort on the defensive end. And if he gives Nebraska those things, hey, that's a pretty good start, and you take that if you're Fred Hoiberg.
The Big Ten announced earlier this week that the conference basketball tournament is going to move to Minneapolis. I think 2024 is when the men's tournament's going to go up there. Do you like that this event is branching out beyond just the Indianapolis-Chicago tag team that it's been the last, about 15 years now?
Yeah, I do. I liked it, and I'm one of the people that was skeptical when it went to Madison Square Garden a few years ago. I thought it was kind of dumb, and they moved the dates to accommodate the Big East and everything. But then you get up there and you walk into Madison Square Garden and you go, "Holy smokes, this is pretty cool." So I think it's fine. I think it's what it shows is that the Big Ten's at least willing to show some flexibility there. Maybe it's willing to look at Omaha down the road to host a Big Ten tournament. Maybe it's willing to look at Detroit. And look, I'm a guy that loves Chicago, loves Indianapolis. They're fun places to go to watch a game. They're fun places for teams to go and stay. It's convenient and it works. But even a place like Minneapolis, that's going to be a lot easier for Nebraska fans to get to than a Chicago or an Indy. So yeah, I like this move. You're playing it in an NBA arena. Minneapolis obviously has all the infrastructure and everything you need to host something like this. They just hosted the women's Final Four, did a great job with it. So yeah, I like it. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out, but I promise you it will be better than what happened when they had it in Washington, D.C. a few years ago, and like 14 people showed up for Nebraska's game. So that's an improvement in my book.
Listen, Jim Delaney knows what he's doing. The man is a genius.
Jim Delaney's gone, John.
But he's the one that wanted to move the tournament to the east.
He did indeed.
I want to go east. But
can end up in London.
That's what I say.
Oh, you like Philadelphia?
That would be interesting.
I think it'd be fun to play. You know what they should do? They should play it at the Palestra in Philadelphia. That'd be sweet.
Now, you say that.
How big is that arena?
It's only about 9,000 seats.
That'd be pretty cool.
It'd be a little. It's probably a little hard to accommodate, multiple games on one day because, there's not much locker room space.
Yeah.
But it would be pretty cool. It is a cool old building.
Yeah.
It's a really cool.
Like it's a part of basketball. And I'm only half joking when I say that. Like it would be super cool. There'd be some logistics stuff to work out, but I think it'd be pretty sweet.
Do it at the Hinkle. How cool would that be?
Do it at Hinkle. Why not?
What is it with you Big Ten people trying to hone in on Big East territory? I realize that the Big Ten can't win any championships, and you got to come to a league that wins the titles. But
there it is. Listen to the crazy guy talking about winning titles.
This is my campaign that they don't need to bring the Big Ten tournament to Omaha
because it's infringing on Big East territory.
No, because Nebraska's record in that building across the way isn't very good.
Yeah, when's the last time they won it? They're like 04?
Not very good.
Yeah,
been a long time.
Now, what would really be funny is if they did host it in Omaha, but they left the Creighton floor down.
That would be a very odd look. But hey, you know what?
Creighton floor down, and Nebraska just absolutely runs through it. Wins every game by like 18 points.
Hey, at least it would add a little personality to the floor. That's like my least favorite part about March is like in the old day, back in my day, you'd have arenas with some actual logos on them, and now it's Powerade cups and NCAA logos. Get out of here with that garbage.
Yeah. Bring back the Boise State floor from the early 90s. That's what I
DePaul, I remember there was a game with the Blue Demon on the floor. Oh, glorious. Absolutely glorious.
Chris Basnett, our Friday friend.
Yeah.
Baz, thanks again. Have a great weekend. It's shirts off weather, at least today.
Baby. Oh, baby.
Fellas, my shirt is off as we speak, so I'm all in.
Later, dude.
Chris Basnett,
Peace out,
Lincoln
boys.
Journal-Star. There he goes. And we'll be back with more of Unsportsmanlike Conduct. The movie club is coming up. We're going to find out if young Nick actually could make it through Boogie Nights without being too embarrassed.
Where are the Bee Gees? Where are the Bee Gees?
There's no Bee Gees.
Why do you guys keep treating it like I've never seen naked people before?
That's not Nick. I'm not the one who's saying this. I don't know why John is leaning into this Nick is a prude bit, but
No, it's not prude. He's naive. He's young. Have you seen that picture of him without the beard?
Oh, I see.
Do you think that kid without the beard ever saw any
John,
movies?
I grew up on the internet.
Yeah, he grew up in the time of the internet. Of course he did. He's probably looking at he's probably looking at naked people when he was like 6 years old.
It was Iowa internet. It was that dial-up stuff. It took 20 minutes for the
You're
pictures
making
to
a
download.
joke, but my dad did have dial-up until last year.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
Yeah, a lot of people don't.
I thought that went the way of the black and white TV.
Yeah, me too.
All right. More coming up. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct live from the ballpark today on 1620 The Zone.
For the Jays, the Huskers, and even you Jayskers, we are 1620 The Zone.
If there's one thing that you can count on every spring, it's that we're going to have to deal with some hail. J-Tech Construction is the company to call to make it right again. J-Tech Construction specializes in siding, roofing, windows, and gutters, even solar. They're trained for insurance claims assistance, and they can help with your insurance company. Turn to the team the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Use your favorite search engine to find J-Tech Construction online and schedule a free estimate today.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now. 402-671-7777.
Excuse me, Carol?
Hey, Dale. You finished that report I asked for?
Oh, yeah, about that. I didn't get a chance to do it.
No worries. You've been so busy.
Really?
Of course. Dale, you're our hardest worker. You should take an extra week of vacation.
Are you firing me?
No, I promise. Just giving you the break you deserve.
Wow. Thanks, boss. You sure you're not firing me?
Actually, I'm going to promote you. But first, take a week off on the company's dime.
Sometimes things just get better. Like AT&T. We've invested more than $150 million to grow our wireless network coverage to over 99% of Nebraska. So you can talk, text, and share in more places than ever. Visit att.com/Nebraska and learn how to get a free smartphone when you switch to AT&T. Coverage not available everywhere. Over 99% coverage based on third-party data. Network investments based on 2018 through 2020 expenditure.
Hey, this is Jake from State Farm. Since I'm all about being a good neighbor, I want to let you know that some other car insurance companies are increasing their rates in your state. So it's a good time to check your latest bill. But don't worry. If your bill's gone up and your budget's busted, switch to State Farm for surprisingly great rates. Problem solved. For surprisingly great rates, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or visit statefarm.com for a quote today.
Pandemic-impacted homeowners may be at risk of losing their homes, which is why the state of Nebraska is providing relief through the Homeowner Assistance Fund. Qualified homeowners can receive up to $30,000 in assistance for past due mortgage payments, past due real estate taxes, HOA dues, and homeowners or flood insurance. Funds will be distributed until they run out, and they do not need to be paid back. View qualifications and apply today at nebraskahaf.com. That's nebraskahaf.com.
Well, Nebraska, we knew it would happen.
The political establishment and their dark money are flooding the airwaves with negative ads filled with lies. Their target, conservative Charles W. Herbster. They attacked President Trump. Now they're lying about Charles W. Herbster. Fact, Charles Herbster will cut taxes for all Nebraskans. His pledge, property taxes must be cut, and no new taxes on gas, medicine, or groceries. Fact, Charles Herbster has paid all his taxes and fees, every single penny. Fact, Charles is the only conservative candidate with the courage to finally fix our broken tax system, once and for all. The political establishment and dark money special interests, they won't tell you the truth. Charles W. Herbster is the only conservative who will cut taxes and fix our broken system. Paid for by Herbster for Nebraska.
Hello, I'm Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. If you've been dissatisfied with your current banking situation, maybe it's time to move to a bank that works to deserve your business. We have an engaged staff that offers exceptional personalized service. We also have a great digital banking platform. We have 2 locations at 108th and Dodge or 202nd and Pacific. So if you're looking for a superior banking relationship, give us a call at 402-827-8100. We'll answer on the first ring. Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Member FDIC.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Josh, I got a question for you.
I hope I have an answer for you, John.
It's more of an opinion question, so you'll have some kind of an answer. Do you think the NFL draft or pro sports drafts are unfair?
I mean, if you boil them down to their very essence, yes, because in no other area of American life do things work this way, right?
Right.
Like if I'm graduating college, which I did, I decided where I wanted to go within certain parameters of who wanted me. But you graduate college. Sometimes you have a lot of offers. Sometimes you're scraping the bottom of the barrel. You're looking for anything, and you decide where you want to go. Graduating high school into college. That's what it is. If you're a good athlete, if you're a good student, you at times could have the pick of the litter in pro sports overseas. You have, I guess your rights are kind of different because you can end up signing with a franchise or whatever when you're like 10 years old. But yes, when you boil them down to their essence, yes, they're unfair.
But you know why they exist.
Yes, definitely.
Because it's for competitive balance.
Correct.
It's for competitive balance.
Because in a world where the best college players could sign with the highest bidder in the NFL or the NBA or whatever, maybe those sports would start to resemble college a little bit more, where we have a lot of frustrations because there's like 3 good teams.
Exactly.
Yes.
There was an editorial written today in USA Today from Mike Freeman titled, "The NFL Draft is Great Television, but it's also anti-free market scheme." Basically advocating that and you boiled it down, and you're right. It's true. We don't do this anywhere else.
Literally nowhere else we do this in American life.
But it's all done in the interest because you're dealing with a very finite market of individuals who are supremely talented enough to play the sport. And you're dealing with a lot of rich owners who, you're right. If this were more like European soccer,
and there was no salary cap,
go
Cowboys. We'd win all the time.
I'm sure there would. Yeah. If you think about it, revenue sharing, salary cap, draft. I mean, the NFL and pro sports in general is filled with a lot of, anti-capitalist ideas, but it's really done in the interest of making more money.
Well, yeah,
because the idea is you don't want the same teams just outbidding everybody else and the richest teams always winning. That is the beauty of the NFL that you don't even see in a lot of other sports.
Say it's the best in that regard.
Is that, you can have a team from Green Bay, Wisconsin win the NFL championship, just as you can have a team from Los Angeles, California win the NFL championship.
Kansas City. It's
Kansas
not like
City,
that's
one
like
of the smallest markets out there. I mean, when the Royals won the World Series,
oh my gosh,
that was kind of a major shock because baseball's, geared more towards the richer teams than the NFL is. So it's all done to keep as much interest as possible, which is why the NFL is the most popular sport one of the reasons why the NFL is one of the most popular sports in the country.
And then all on top of that, max salaries. That is a way to lower the cost of the employees because, again, in no other, I mean, I guess in other areas, but if your value as a actor is $30 million a movie, you're going to get $30 million a movie. LeBron James is not getting paid what he is worth. Tom Brady is not getting paid what he is worth. We can find a Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is now he's in the midst of a $500 million contract over 12 years. He is still underpaid, in my opinion, given what he is worth to the Chiefs and what he is worth to the NFL at large. And so, yeah, it's interesting. And we like it, though, because it does. If you're a fan of a non-big market team in the NFL, the Seattle Seahawks, they won the Super Bowl within the last decade. That is a story that if it happened in the NBA, in Major League Baseball, it would be a shock. It would go against the grain. When the Thunder were good for a few years, it was an awesome story because they drafted really well, they developed really well, and they ended up having some superstars. But even that had its own shelf life. LeBron in Cleveland is its own unique case because he's from Akron, Ohio. He's from the area. But even that, he wanted to escape. Whereas, John, if the Chiefs don't win another Super Bowl under Mahomes, a small market team doesn't win another Super Bowl, I think a lot of us would be surprised or disappointed in some way, shape, or form. It's different.
Mahomes himself, once Mahomes blew up on the scene in a totally free market system, he'd be playing in Dallas right now.
Yeah.
Or he'd be playing in LA right now. Or he'd be playing in New York
They
right
need
now.
collectives to be able to afford him.
Yes. Yeah, the Chiefs collective. Hey, we've got really good barbecue. Well, but Jerry Jones has a lot bigger pockets than you do.
Uh-huh.
Well, coming up next, Kent Wolgamont's going to join us, and we're going to talk about Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights.
Or
Boogie
as
Nights.
Nick calls it, Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights.
It's two separate words. I don't know where the emphasis is supposed to go.
We tried to tell you, but you were pushing back against us.
Well, the way you boogie,
Boogie
it sounds
Nights.
weird. It sounds weird to me when you say
Yes,
it
the
like
way that everyone has said it since it came out in 1997. That's actually the weird way.
I'm not saying it's the weird way. I'm just saying it sounds weird to me.
Well, I guess we'll find out how Kent says it.
The ultimate arbiter, Kent Wolgamont.
I can't believe in all of the things that are engrossed in this movie that the controversy out of this is how Nick emphasizes the second word and not the first word in Boogie Nights. Kent Wolgamont Movie Club is next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. Heads up, we're getting reports of a little bit of a delay on Industrial Road around 144th for both directions. If you're east on L Street, slow going between I-80 and 96th. And if you're east on 370, a little bit of a delay between 84th and 72nd. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Lanahan Nurseries.
Hey guys, spring is here and the honeydew list has begun. If you're getting ready to clean up your yard, Lanahaw is your one-stop for all landscape needs. Buy your mulch, Lanahaw Nurseries. Best quality at the best price. Convenient delivery or pickup. Lanahaw Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats. Dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Hi, guys. It's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now. 402-671-7777.
Home is where your health is, where your family gathers together, takes care of each other. And right there with you is Nebraska Medicine. We're proud to take care of Nebraska, to deliver everything your family needs. From immediate care to neurosurgery, it's expertise you can be confident in. With locations throughout the region and telehealth appointments from the comfort of home. Find a provider close to you at nebraskamed.com.
Home is with you wherever that may be.
You can join us every week for the Sharp and Betting podcast. It's Sharp and Betting. We got a podcast driven by our good friends at Woodhouse Auto Family.
Yeah, the cool thing about it is we'll get more in depth on a lot of your favorite topics, have a guest or two, and just might drop some nuggets of information that you've never heard before.
Wherever you get your podcasts, just look for Sharp and Betting. We got a podcast driven by Woodhouse Auto Family each Friday. You can find it on the Sharp and Betting show page on 1620thezone.com. It's Sharp and Betting. We got a podcast.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
I mean, he's just banging and banging and banging. When a guy's banging you,
Friday, the final day of the week. These are the voyages of the program Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Its ongoing mission to explore strange new movies, to seek out new bits and new edifications, to boldly go where no radio program has gone before.
Oh, Elkins Movie Club. It's Elkins Movie Club. Elkins Movie Club. It's Elkins Movie Club.
Dork Diggler?
Dork Diggler, yeah. Kent, good afternoon.
Hello.
I shared a story in the email to Kent today with the link, but if you missed it at the end of the program yesterday, I don't remember how we got on the subject, but I just happened to mention, hey, our movie is about the porn industry, and it shocked poor young Nick, who honestly thought it was a movie about disco.
Which we then found out he thought that this was Saturday Night Fever.
I sure
That's
did.
what we thought. He thought we were watching Saturday Night Fever. We were indeed not.
Perhaps no.
Never seen Saturday Night Fever. Is that a music? Is that technically can't classified as a musical? Is there singing?
I don't think so, but it should be. They do take place approximately at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. Well,
I just wanted to hear the Bee Gees, man.
Well, then turn on a radio. Turn on your station, 1019. Don't you play that like every
don't
other song?
play the Bee Gees on 1019 The Keg.
Well, that's a you problem, Nick, not an us problem.
Yeah, you're the one in control of that.
Uh-huh.
Thing. So, Boogie Nights, 1997.
Crazy. I thought
That's
when
the year I
chose
was
this,
born.
this was like, wow. I thought this was like 2000. And so when I went to the Wikipedia page after I watched it last night, I was like, wait, 97 is when it came out?
Yeah.
My goodness. So, I mean, it's about the adult.
It's about porn.
That's what it's about. It's about a soon-to-be or recent high school graduate. He gets into
Dropout, yeah.
Gets into the world. Yeah. Dropout, gets into the world, and off to the races we go. Kent, here's my question to begin the conversation about Boogie Nights. Is Mark Wahlberg good in this role? Because I had seen this once. It had been years, but I remember one of the conversations is Marky Mark kind of sucks as Dirk Diggler. I still don't really know how I feel about how he did in that character. What did you think?
Watching it again, it's not one of the great performances of all time, but I don't think he's terrible. And what it really did was show that he had some spark of possibility, so to speak, because this is his first real movie. You know, I mean, he did one movie before this, but I thought he was fine, if not, but not great. Let's put it that way. And I think he was well cast in the sense that they wanted somebody that was going to be a little awkward or I don't know what the exact right word for it is. Unsophisticated, unpolished, whatever. And a good actor might have been too slick, for lack of a better word for it.
Well, you say that, and I'm looking, I'm reading kind of back into the history. Leonardo DiCaprio was suggested for this role, but he had already signed on to do Titanic.
Probably a good decision.
Joaquin Phoenix, but he had concerns about it being a porn or being about the porn industry. I mean, imagine if that character, Dirk Diggler, had been played by either of those two.
Because both those guys are better actors for sure.
Yes, well, especially because Wahlberg, this was really his first major role.
Yeah, absolutely. Interestingly, not that this has anything directly to do with this film, but and not so much Leonardo, but pretty much all the actors or a lot of the actors in this movie returned to work with Paul Thomas Anderson, the director, again, and Joaquin Phoenix ended up starring in another Wes Anderson movie that is actually he has a whole bunch of movies about the 70s, which I find interesting. And the one that he was in is a detective film called, what was it called? Infinite Jest, I believe, which was not a hit, but I really liked. But if you look at Paul Thomas Anderson, this is a movie from the 70s. Much of what happens in The Master, his movie that was based on L. Ron Hubbard, happens in the 70s. That detective film happens in the 70s. And Licorice Pizza, his most recent and Academy Award nominated movie, happens in the 70s. So this is Paul Thomas Anderson dealing with his youth, the time when he grew up. This is what he was sort of interested in, I guess.
If you think about it, this movie's rather important, even for the subject matter. And, people, if they just think about it from the subject matter standpoint, they're like, well, this is going to be smutty, and, there's not going to be anything of any significance here. But when you consider Wahlberg, this is really his first major role, and he basically becomes a film star hereafter. Don Cheadle, was not a huge star at this point.
I didn't
His career
expect to
took
see
off.
him. Honestly.
John C. Reilly.
It's so funny watching this and
watching
Winning Time. Yeah.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh, R.I.P.
Who plays one of the guys on the crew. And this was, while we're talking about all these younger actors who kind of saw this as a point moving upward, this was kind of Burt Reynolds' comeback, because Reynolds hadn't made really any significant movies for several years. And this was the role, playing the director, Jack Horner, that got him his only Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor. I'm curious what you think, Kent, because as I'm watching this, I'm like, first of all, Reynolds was a great pick for that role. I mean, he just exudes that role.
Yes.
What did you think in the time, thinking back 25-ish years, to him getting nominated? Do you think he was worth it then? And then how do you look at it today?
Oh, absolutely. He was worth it then. I think that may be, in fact, his best movie performance ever, because he wasn't playing the typical Burt Reynolds character, right? So he had to do a little acting, and I thought there's something about the performance where, he's just so cool, right? And nothing, like, kind of unflappable almost, that kind of anchors the movie in a way. And there's I didn't know he was capable of doing that. Let's just put it that way. And
you're right, because he basically played versions of himself in most
exactly.
of his great commercially successful movies, as great as Smoking the Bandit and Stroker Ace were.
Longest Yard.
This was anything but Burt Reynolds. And I think also too, Kent, you've got all of these characters who all have demons, right?
Oh man, yeah.
Oh sure.
Even though he was at the center of the picture as the director of all of these films, he seemed to be the most grounded. He didn't have any like demons or issues. He was almost the moral center of a film that a lot of people would look at and think of it as being amoral.
Yeah, and I think that might actually be true to the kind of character that would have been the director of a porn film in this era. Okay. And 2 or 3 things on that. One, people from that time in the porn industry say there are a couple things that are really, really inaccurate about this movie, including they wouldn't have hired a high school kid, 2 high school kids, Roller Girl, who was Heather Graham, and Marky Mark. They didn't have 17-year-olds on the set. That was one thing that really bothered them. But many of them said this is pretty close in some levels. And I think the movie itself, the Dirk Diggler character, is sort of based off of John Holmes, who was this 70s porn's, biggest name in porn, I guess. But what it really shows is this was the golden age of porn, as they call it. And what happened in the history sort of the porn industry is in the early 70s, porn kind of loosened up. There was more of it found, more theaters would play, mainstream theaters would play X-rated films, right? And so you had, sort of 3 movies that came out, Deep Throat, Devil and Miss Jones, and
Behind the Green Door?
Behind the Green Door. That's the 3. And they started, and people were making legitimate movies that were porn, which is what the Burt Reynolds character wants to do in this movie.
Yeah, Ken, I was going to say oh, sorry, keep going.
And then along comes videotape in the early 80s, and the golden age of porn disappears because porn left the theaters, went home, and nobody was going to make movies that were real movies. And then along comes the internet and even more. So this was a, I don't know, 6-year, 8-year, something like that period that they call the golden age of porn, I guess, for a reason. And I think this captures something of that era pretty closely.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kent, what John said about the Burt Reynolds character a few minutes ago, I think is true about him not maybe having those demons. But I guess the only pushback that I would have is it seemed like he wanted maybe to be considered legit. I mean, he did want to be considered legitimate. So maybe that was in itself its own demon, because there's 2 things that stand out to me. One, when they finish editing the movie and they're like, wow, like they kind of sit back and you can see like they are really proud of the work that they did. So then there's that. And then the other one would be the scene as they're going into 1980 and the disappointment about learning that they're going to be doing this stuff on VHS, on tape. And you can see in a later scene when they're shooting it, just it didn't feel the same. And so I would agree with John while also disagreeing, if that makes sense, on maybe the demons maybe he has are in a professional capacity on wanting to be considered a legitimate director.
And that was the end when it went to video for him, no question. There are obviously a couple real porn stars in this movie. William H. Macy's adulterous wife is I just went blank on her name. Nina Hartley.
Yeah.
She is, I believe, 60 and still in the porn sex industry and has been, and she's
63.
Good for her. And there are a lot of the extras in the film. She's the only one that I know of that had a speaking role, but a lot of the extras in the film were from the porn business.
That was
she had a speaking role.
The poor William H. Macy character. That guy.
That was
man, rough go.
That was up until that part. That was my favorite reoccurring joke because it was
very funny.
It was so not out of left field, but kind of out of left field. Like the tonal shift was always, it was a very comedic part.
And then when look, it's a
and by the way, the joke is that
every time he goes to
every time he opens the door to the bedroom, his wife is having sex with another man.
And I'll say this, it's a 25-year-old movie, so I'm gonna spoil it. When the scene that sets up, him shooting her and then shooting himself, it's great how it follows him into the room and then it follows him all the way out to get the gun and then it follows him all the way back
because
in.
that's when the movie shifted.
And that's
that's when it shifted from being,
the first half,
the rise to the fall.
Dude, I thought that was so stark to me this time watching it. The first half, there's very little conflict. It's happy. And then the latter half is the exact opposite, where there's very little good that happens to these characters.
Right.
And it's just it's like an hour and a half of just a crash. And you're right. That is when the movie goes from what it was to, what it became. And I imagine, Kent, people probably like the first half of the movie a lot more than they like the second half of the movie. But the payoff, I think, of the second half is very, very good, even though the first half is definitely a much more fun hang.
And that's true. And once again, I think that's absolutely true. It's true, not in detail, but in, larger scope to the story of John Holmes, who ended up involved in a bunch of murders.
Oh, okay. I've read about that guy.
The Sugarland murders, I believe they were called. And he was involved in that. And he, I think, died of AIDS. So
I believe you're right.
Everything. So this is kind of true to that arc of his character. And that's the other thing that the people from the industry of that era said. They said, yeah, it happened to John Holmes, but generally it wasn't a violent, dark place. And the drug use in this movie is a little over the top because the male actors can't really function on the cocaine.
It's different for the ladies than it is for the guys. That is definitely for sure. So, Nick, I'm curious for someone who went into this expecting a lot of Barry and Andy Gibb, and instead got Dirk Diggler and friends. What did you think?
I loved it a lot. The soundtrack is, even though it was lacking Bee Gees, it was really cool. The one thing that I really stuck onto was how every song fit with the scene that the song was in. Like, if you listen to the words of the song, it was basically just a separate. The music was a character in itself.
Yeah, helping tell the story.
It was helping tell the story. Just the theming of the lyrics. That was my very favorite part of the movie. The underlying comedic elements were great because it felt very real. A lot of those scenes, when they were at the bar and John C. Reilly was doing the magic, and they with Don Cheadle, and it was hard for them to hear each other over the loud music and stuff. I think that was a very natural kind of interaction. I feel like I could walk into a bar and see that. So I think they did a very good job of finding natural comedy just in normal interaction. I think the music played a major role in elevating a lot of the scenes. And I would have put in more Bee Gees, but I get it. There was a disco scene, so they could have.
There you go. You got your
threw it
disco.
in there. I also like how the music that they used correlated to the time period that they were in the movie. I always like when movies do that. It makes it feel more real, more authentic.
Well, you almost have to do that.
Right.
If you're going to include pop music, you're not going to be playing, you're not going to be playing Lil Wayne.
But
there
are a lot of examples of period movies where they use non-period music, though. So I
think especially for something like this, where you're diving all the way in on this period of time and trying to tell that story, I think it's almost essential. Wouldn't you agree, Kent, that the music has
absolutely? And remember that this is Paul Thomas Anderson, who is a very serious filmmaker, right? So he's going to do stuff like that. And I mean, look at the films he's made. He hasn't made a bad movie. This was his second movie, right? And bang, he hits with this, and then he had Magnolia and There Will Be Blood, and Licorice Pizza, and they're all this kind of meticulously made films that everything in it rings true.
Has it surprised you, Kent? Because I'm looking at his filmography. He's only made 9 films. Does it surprise you he hasn't done more in almost 30 years?
No. And the reason for that is if you do the math, it takes, let's say it takes a year and a half to get the thing made, and then you spend another year or so promoting it. So you say almost 3 years a movie. 9 times 3 gets you to 27.
Okay. Yeah, the biggest gap, he went 5 years between Punch Drunk Love and There Will Be Blood, and then went 5 years between that and The Master. Otherwise, it's about every 2 to 3 years. So I guess the math does work out.
Yeah.
From that standpoint, you can't be like Jack Horner and pump out a new film every
a porn every 4.5 hours.
My favorite scene by far, by the way, was at the drug dealer house. That was fantastic. I love that.
I'm trying to think of my favorite scene, what it would be, because there's just so many that made me laugh out loud, and then others that made me like, oh wow, I can't believe that they went into that dark place. It's a very good movie. I'm really happy that we watched it, because it, like I said, it's been since college. I was a lot younger. It was nice to see it again, with kind of a different viewpoint given the years that have gone by.
Yeah, and it holds up very well because period movies typically do, because you're going into a snapshot of time. But and it was so interesting when you would see a new actor. You're like, wow. There's Philip Seymour Hoffman. There's and
incredible cast.
Yeah,
John C. Reilly
and it really helped make these guys' careers, and women.
Yeah.
Some of them, like Julianne Moore, was already established, and obviously Burt Reynolds was. But these others were like 5 years into their career. They were, second page sort of the list of actors kind of level, and all of us. And with Macy, with William H. Macy, he went from Fargo to this. Oh, that would be a career-making 2 years.
Yeah, seriously, what a run!
So, and the other thing about this movie that I think is important is it's about the porn industry, but it's not a sexploitation movie, right? It's not okay, we're going to make an R-rated as close as we can get to NC-17 rating movie to put out there as a sex movie for the mainstream, right? It's a serious. It's not a sexploitation movie. Although I do know that he had to cut like little pieces of about 40 scenes to get an R-rated movie.
Wow. Yeah, I was going to say because you see just a quick glimpse of some full frontal Heather Graham. You see Julianne Moore topless, but that was just a scene. And then at the very end,
you get Dirk.
You get the reveal of what made Dirk Diggler Dirk Diggler. But other than that, for a movie that was about the porn industry, it's not like it was,
Naked people running around the whole time.
nudity from front to back. So yeah, I'd be curious to know what he had to cut, because it wasn't like they were, doing a lot of.
I believe it was a lot of the Nina Hartley scenes.
That's true, because I don't think you ever saw any of Nina. You just kind of saw.
Oh yeah,
her.
and the very first one. The very first one you do.
Yeah.
And then after that, I believe most of the rest of them got pretty well sliced. And by the way, word is that Marky Mark still owns what made Dirk Diggler Dirk Diggler.
If I were Marky Mark, I would want to own that too.
That's awesome.
Nice.
You got to wonder how that helped his reputation back in the late 90s.
Oh, congrats to Mark.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is Boogie Nights. So, Nick, Nick already has told us what the movie's going to be next week. So let us all in on the joke or on the secret.
The joke. We're gonna watch The Batman.
Hell
yeah! This is a fun fun Batman. I like Robert Pattinson, and he's got like an emo vibe, and I feel like I could relate to that more than the other Batmans. So maybe this will be the Batman that I like.
You're gonna
settle in for a long ride.
Yeah, you'll
I've
like it.
heard it's very long.
It's 3 hours.
I like Christian Bale Batman, but I couldn't take the movie seriously because he did that voice. But from the previews,
Swear to me.
What I've seen from the trailers of the new Batman, it seems like it comes more naturally to Robert Pattinson, to where I could hear the voice and not get taken out of it by the goofy "swear to me, swear to me."
And that's on Paramount?
HBO Max.
Oh, it's
Max.
HBO. Okay. HBO Max. So The Batman.
Let's go.
Will be next week. All right. So we got, are the Nets toast? Did the Grizzlies put away the T-Wolves with the big comeback last night?
And are the Warriors going 16-0?
Oh, that's right. The Warriors are going 16-0, so really none of these other questions matter. But I'm just curious what your thoughts are the first handful of games in round one.
The answer is tonight is the make or break for the Nets. And I think it might be break. I think they might be toast. Yes, the T-Wolves had that game won, and then they didn't. And that's that's the end of them. And the same thing in the Golden State game last night. Although Golden State is playing a way better than I thought they were going to be. And you can say Jordan Poole is the reason for that. Because now they got three guys that, when they heat up, But last night, I'm sitting there watching that game and I go, oh, this is going to be a series. And then, what was it, the last 6 minutes of that game or so? It was like, okay, we are done with you now. And they just won the game. And they'll put them out of their misery, put Denver out of their misery on, what is it, Sunday?
Yes.
Yeah, I
believe so. Yeah.
And then the Heat are going to do bad things to Atlanta again tonight.
That's Kent's team now. It's the Heat.
Yeah, my Heat. But I do think there's some competitive series. I think Milwaukee is that, with Middleton being out, that all of a sudden gets competitive. And if they get by the Bulls, the second round, which they play Philly, really gets competitive until Middleton comes back.
Yeah, all the spreads, by the way, for tonight's games are very tight. Very tight.
Oh, yeah, it should be good. I mean, this in a sense has been, I think so far, a typical sort of first week of the NBA playoffs, where you get some really good games and some serious blowouts. And, those 1-8 matchups like the Heat, you usually get yourself a bunch of blowouts. But in Phoenix's case, once again, they're down maybe, I'd argue, their best player in Booker for at least tonight, and I would guess Sunday as well. I mean, you can't come back from a strained hamstring, can you, in 2 days, 3 days?
I don't
Or
think
if you
so.
can, are you even going to be able to contribute a whole
Right,
lot?
exactly. Yeah, that's one of those things that, you're talking, you usually talk a couple of weeks with something like that, not a couple of days.
And that makes those games more that makes that series more competitive, although I think Phoenix will eventually win it, but it might go 6 or 7, and that's not going to be, that ain't good. You want to play as few games as possible early on.
Yep, exactly.
And
all right, so next week it is the Batman.
Yep.
And Kent, we always appreciate. By the way, check out Jack Mitchell's latest podcast.
So fun.
He talks to Kent, and
Very
apparently the stories go everywhere. I look forward to listening to this because we get your stories every week, but I guess there's some new ones in here I haven't heard before.
Yeah, and it not only went everywhere, it didn't cover any of the ground that we talked about doing when we started. So there we go.
Kent, you're amazing.
It was a fun listen.
All right, Kent Wolgamott, Lincoln Journal-Star. Have a great weekend. Thanks.
Bye, Kent.
There he is, Kent Wolgamott, ladies and gentlemen, joining us in the movie club. Next week, it's The Batman, now streaming on HBO Max. It's a One Beer Friday. We're at a ballpark. Jays are taking some BP, and we'll be back right after this on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show.
I vow to never lose my wallet.
Now, why are you so sure that you will not?
I'm not going to lose my wallet. I'm walking down the street. I'm checking if I have my wallet, like, at all times. I'm not going to lose my wallet.
Now, lost is not stolen. Like, you're susceptible to having your wallet stolen.
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
No,
okay,
I'm not.
you were also saying that.
It will also never be stolen.
Okay.
The Connor Happer Show. Weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from Canoyer Garden Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly cloudy, windy, and very warm for your Friday, with highs this afternoon topping out in the mid-80s to even the lower 90s further west. Wind advisories remain in place throughout the afternoon and into early evening. Gusts possible out of the south today between 45 to 55 miles an hour. Chance for storms as we head overnight tonight, few of which may become strong to severe. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center, no accidents to report this afternoon. We are seeing a little bit of a delay on L Street for both directions between I-80 and 90th. Same goes on westbound 370 between 90th and 84th. And then a slight delay out on westbound West Center Road around 175th. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Romeo's Mexican Food and Pizza.
Enjoy Romeo's Grande Pizza and Taco Combo. 1 large 2-topping pizza, 4 soft-shelled tacos, chips and queso dip for only $28.99. Only at Romeo's. Carry out only.
Not your typical restaurant.
Email Unsportsmanlike Conduct on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox with whatever is on your mind, from your hot takes to what you think is one. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Well, Nebraska, we knew it would happen. The political establishment and their dark money are flooding the airwaves with negative ads filled with lies. Their target, conservative Charles W. Herbster. They attacked President Trump. Now they're lying about Charles W. Herbster. Fact. Charles Herbster will cut taxes for all Nebraskans. His pledge, property taxes must be cut, and no new taxes on gas, medicine, or groceries. Fact, Charles Herbster has paid all his taxes and fees, every single penny. Fact, Charles is the only conservative candidate with the courage to finally fix our broken tax system, once and for all. The political establishment and dark money special interests, they won't tell you the truth. Charles W. Herbster is the only conservative who will cut taxes and fix our broken system. Paid for by Herbster for Nebraska.
Marvin Windows has long been known for their lasting value and beauty. Carp's Complete Home Exteriors is Omaha's first authorized Marvin Windows replacement contractor. For a free estimate, call Carp's Complete Home Exteriors or visit carpsomaha.com.
Sid Dillon is your Chevrolet Business Elite dealer. Shop in stock and inbound inventory or order your medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Visit SidDillonChevy.com.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Chevy, find new roads.
Excuse me, Carol?
Hey, Dale. You finished that report I asked for?
Oh, yeah, about that. I didn't get a chance to do it.
No worries. You've been so busy.
Really?
Of course. Dale, you're our hardest worker. You should take an extra week of vacation.
Are you firing me?
No, I promise. Just giving you the break you deserve.
Wow. Thanks, boss. You sure you're not firing me?
Actually, I'm going to promote you. But first, take a week off on the company's dime.
Sometimes things just get better. Like AT&T. We've invested more than $150 million to grow our wireless network coverage to over 99% of Nebraska. So you can talk, text, and share in more places than ever. Visit att.com/Nebraska and learn how to get a free smartphone when you switch to AT&T. Coverage not available everywhere. Over 99% coverage based on third-party data. Network investments based on 2018 through 2020 expenditure.
Businesses all across eastern Nebraska and western Iowa have trusted Host Coffee for their coffee, water, and vending needs. Give your business the whole host of options. Host Coffee, serving you since 72.
Frank's Pizzeria has a new location. Just like their original location at 132nd and West Dodge, their new location at 72nd and Q is making the same delicious New York pizza. At Frank's Pizzeria, they make their dough fresh every day and top it with handmade sauce, fresh ingredients, and top-shelf buffalo mozzarella cheese. They even make their own Italian sausage. Wash it down with a cold beer and awesomeness ensues. Frank's Pizzeria for nearly 20 years at 132nd and West Dodge. And now, check out their new location at 72nd and Q.
Join Blur Parties at Hilton Omaha this June as we host a premier college baseball championship hospitality tailgate. Experience an all-inclusive full bar and buffet, TVs, music, and a variety of tailgate games. Book a corporate tailgate event or just hang out with friends. The best part is we're located steps away on the south side of Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurparties.com to buy tickets or to find out about sponsorship opportunities. That's blurparties.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson.
Part of it is that he is just so wrong.
On 1620, The Zone.
Well, just like there is with every college season, there's going to be some rule changes and or tweaks.
Oh,
well,
I love tweaks.
Yeah. They are going to change the procedure on targeting. Now, of course, the way the targeting rule works now is if you get called for targeting, you're out. If it happens in the first half, you're out for the rest of the game.
Yep.
If it happens in the second half, you're out for the rest of that game, plus the first half of the following game. Well, conferences now will have the right to appeal that decision to the national coordinator of officials. So they can look at the tape and they can review it and say, okay, well, is this enough? Was this malicious enough to keep them out for the next game? So it's essentially an appeals process to keep a player from missing half of one game and the second half of an entirely different game. So they're getting a little bit closer to where it should be. I still believe that it needs to be flagrant 1, flagrant 2, similar to college basketball, because there are varying degrees. I understand that there are arguments out there that we really want to correct poor tackling behavior. So that's why we have such a draconian penalty. But we've also been doing this for a decade now. I think we now have kids cycling through college who have been playing all of their football life, from peewee to junior high to high school football, under this new world order of what is a proper tackle, where the big blow up hits are no longer being celebrated. It's not saying that we've gotten rid of them. Obviously we haven't, but it's a different day and age.
Definitely.
We've been doing this for a decade now.
Yeah.
I think now is the time, because the last thing you want to have happen, you want to correct behavior, but the behavior is already well underway to being corrected.
Yeah, sometimes mistakes are made. It's
right.
a fast-moving
Well,
sport.
and the problem I have is you get these times where maybe the ball carrier or the quarterback or whoever is going down in a crouch, and thus their target is lower. And you're coming in and you can't stop, and all of a sudden you get a shoulder in on the helmet, and boom, sometimes it can be incidental. That's why the flagrant 1, flagrant 2, like in college basketball, makes so much sense. Flagrant 2 means, yeah, there was intent there. This is a behavior we need to clean up. Your ass is gone. Flagrant 1 is, hey, the penalty's going to still stand, but you don't have to leave the game. Yeah. Now, if you get a second flagrant 1 in the game, then we can go back to the other rules. So we've corrected, or we're well down the path to correcting the behavior. The last thing we want to do is actually affect games because we're kicking players out that may or may not have been the victim of circumstance.
I think that the way you describe that is perfectly, because you're right. We are now a decade into this era, and I think that football has changed enough where the hits that you are describing, I don't think that they happen with the malicious intent anywhere near the level that they used to. I think that that's gotten taken out of the game. But as I said a couple seconds ago, it's football, man. It's a fast-moving sport. It's college football. You got these really good athletes. They're flying around. They're going to make some mistakes sometimes. Like the play that I often think of, and I forget which of the Osborne twins it was. I think it was Courtney Osborne for Nebraska. But he had a blitz on Blaine Gabbert in the 2010 Missouri game. And Blaine Gabbert, at the very last minute, he starts dropping down. I think he just wanted to go down to avoid the sack, to avoid getting hit. And thus, the hit by Osborne ended up being helmet to helmet. And who was the guy from ESPN that always was crying about the hits, and he ended up getting out of the Cunningham? Ed Cunningham. Ed Cunningham, oh my gosh, you got to legislate this out of the game. And it's like, look, Ed, I understand. I'll meet you halfway. Yeah, we want to remove helmet to helmet hits. But come on, Ed. The reason that this hit happened was because Blaine Gabbert started dropping down, and then the hit happened the way it did. So I think that we need to acknowledge that bad hits are sometimes going to happen, but there are varying levels to how bad a hit is. So I'm with you. Flagrant 1, flagrant 2, go from there.
Also, blocking below the waist is going to be simplified. Linemen and stationary backs who block below the waist inside the tackle box on scrimmage plays will be permitted. However, if it's outside the tackle box, it will be penalized. And the Kenny Pickett rule has been instituted. Kenny Pickett, who famously faked a slide in the ACC championship game and then proceeded to gain another, 40 yards after that.
Scored a touchdown. It's his longest run of the entire season.
Now, if a ball carrier will be stopped, it will be stopped at the point where he simulates a feet-first slide. Officials will declare the runner down at that spot, which is the right call.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Look, good on him for taking advantage of it
Sure.
because the rule wasn't in place.
I've always waited for someone to do that, or when they're feigning to go out of bounds and then all of a sudden cut it back,
If I'm a quarterback in this era of football and the way the rules work in favor of you, you should always be trying to take advantage. Make them change the rule, but until they change it, try to do it.
Well, they've changed it.
Yep, indeed.
Now they have changed it. Josh, you're going to be very excited about some poll numbers that I saw come out this week.
Stick to sports, please.
No, it's actually not sports.
That's why I said stick to sports.
But you'll be excited about these poll numbers.
Interesting.
That plus we'll get into a conversation about win totals.
Yeah.
This upcoming season and more. The happy hour is rounding the bend. It's almost here.
Oh.
And we're going to enjoy some liquid refreshment. I hope you do too. And make sure you keep tweeting us the pics of what you're enjoying. It is beer drinking weather.
Dude,
it's
it absolutely
warm,
is.
It's humid. It is beer drinking weather. This really feels One Beer Friday-esque.
It does indeed.
On 1620 The Zone.
Now live on Twitch, YouTube, and 1620thezone.com.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
My mom's the bomb. Her hugs are so good, there's a wait list. Her laughter is the life of the party. Her smile makes everyone smile. Everything worth knowing, I learned from her. That's why this Mother's Day, I'm heading to Hellsberg Diamonds. They have beautiful diamond pendants, gemstone rings, and more. Hellsberg makes it easy to find a gift she'll love. One that hopefully she'll pass down to me one day, along with her secret to perfect hugs. Save big on mom-worthy gifts at a Hellsberg store near you or at hellsberg.com. Hurry, Mother's Day is Sunday, May 8th.
It's the sale you've been waiting for. It's 420 time, and 42 Degrees has the deals for you. Let's start with pipes. Whether it's glass, silicone, metal, or wood, we had the right pipe for you. Buy one, get one free. Thinking about a vaporizer? We had them starting at $29.99 with one of the largest collections of premium kratom and CBDs, Delta 8, and 420 pricing. Why shop anywhere else? So for the best deals of the year, plenty of stock, then come to the source, 42 Degrees. Buy your mom's house.
Hi, this is Kathy Canoyer with Canoyer Garden Center. The beauty and color of spring is in our greenhouse, featuring thousands of gorgeous hanging baskets and hundreds of varieties of Canoyer grown product. Come in and let our family help you find what you are looking for. Whether it's home decor, annuals, perennials, shrubs, tropicals, or vegetables, we have it all. Canoyer Garden Center between Highway 370 and Cornhusker on 66th Street in Papillion. Open daily, 9 to 7.
At Conley Garden Center, everybody's got a green thumb.
That's the sound of one of my favorite customers ever. His name's Jeremy. His dad Frank called me when it was time to replace their drafty old windows and to take advantage of our limited time sale. As a dedicated Pella advisor, I make getting new windows and doors simple. And when it comes to installation, nobody does it like Pella. Our local team can typically install in just a day.
For 0% APR or $500 off your project, go to PellaOmaha.com/radio. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details. Offer ends April 30th.
Spring is in the air, but are you ready for summer? Team up with Genesis Health Clubs today and you'll be ready. We're inviting you to be your absolute best this summer. No compromises, no regrets, just you, full of the sort of confidence only fitness can bring. This is your summer to feel great, look great, and have more energy. Start your membership at Genesis Health Clubs and save $25 per month every single month. $25 per month every single month. This offer has been extended for a limited time only. This summer is for you. Get yourself mentally and physically ready for vacations, pool parties, and barbecues in just a few short months. But you don't have to wait. You can start to feel better and have more energy today while you work towards your fitness goals. You are worth it. Join Genesis Health Clubs today and save $25 per month every single month. Extended for a limited time only. Save $25 per month every single month. This is going to be your best summer ever. Go to GenesisHealthClubs.com or stop by the club today. This offer has been extended for a limited time only.
For Creighton Sports News, tune into Blue Jay Banter every Monday night at 6. And if 1 hour isn't enough for your Blue Jay fix, check out BlueJayBanter.com. Get up-to-the-minute recruiting news, commentary, and chat with other Blue Jay fans. That's Blue Jay Banter, Monday night at 6 on 1620 The Zone.
The best part of your summer night is listening to Royals baseball on 1620 The Zone.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
For the poll numbers, John, a comment on the YouTube page from Jordan, which you can now watch, by the way, at 1620thezone.com.
That's right. You can just go right to the homepage, and the video is just automatically there. You don't have to touch anything else.
How
Still
cool
AM
is that?
radio, guys.
Still AM radio, though. People don't forget because we keep reminding them. Jordan asks, is Josh already missing Cancun? I'm happy that Jordan would ask me such a question because people forget that I was in Mexico. I'll be honest.
Wait, you were in
Every
Mexico?
day- I know. Nobody really knew about it. Every day this week, I told myself, oh, man, a week ago I was doing X. A week ago I was doing Y. Today was the first time that I was happy it wasn't a week ago because that was a 13-hour travel day. I'm happy to be here with John Bishop at a baseball stadium. This is so fun. But, yeah, I mean, it was awesome. Thank you for asking, Jordan. Thank you for asking. I had a great time in Mexico.
He'll write all about it in his yogging blog.
Oh, yeah, I started that. I got to get to work on that tonight. I want one
the
up this
yogging
weekend.
blog?
There will not be any. I didn't run in Mexico. I avoided running the whole week. Figured you'd be proud of me, John.
No, I mean you no.
I didn't run.
You should.
I golfed.
One time. You could have taken advantage of all the elevation changes. There.
I didn't want to.
Why didn't you jog on the golf course?
Yeah, where was you jogging?
Why would you run on a golf course? That'd be weird.
You're not running, you're jogging.
Why would I?
A lot of cross country meets are held at golf courses.
They are. I
They're very
ran
hilly.
in Kearney one time.
Yeah. So that would have been the perfect place to do it.
No, my friends would have been annoyed.
Well, your friends are already annoyed because you were there.
Because I was there. That's right. They had to talk to me.
This was some interesting research done by Jimmy Watkins over at the Omaha World Herald, who covers Nebraska basketball, but also down the stretch was doing some Creighton stuff. He was down in the NCAA tournament. You know, Creighton was picked ninth in the way too early top 25. They were 14th at NCAA.com and CBSSports.com. And he's like, okay, well, does this really mean anything? Because we make fun of these things all the time.
Way too early.
Way too early. We get we were literally getting these way too early polls before
as
Kansas is going, oh, Kenya, on the old trophy. But if you look back, according to Jimmy's research, last year, NCAA.com's first Power 36 poll was published on April 6th of 2021. So right after the 2021 Final Four, right after Baylor lifted the trophy. All Final Four teams were involved. 7 of the 8 Elite 8 participants and 10 of the 16 Sweet 16 teams were in its top 25.
Wow.
In ESPN's first way too early poll, they also had every Final Four team. They went 6 of 8 in Elite 8 participants and 9 of 16 Sweet 16 teams. And CBS went 4 for 4, 6 of 8, and 11 of 16 in those polls. Now, he went further. He went back over the past 3 seasons, and he's excluding the COVID year.
Sure.
All 3 outlets, CBS, ESPN, NCAA.com, over the past 3 seasons have gone 10 of 12 picking the Final Four teams, 17 of 24 of the Elite 8, and 30 of the 48 Sweet 16 participants. So they've got a pretty good hit rate.
Yeah,
so in other words, there is some validity to being in these way too early for, top 25 lists because, when you look at Final Four teams, I mean, they're over 90% the last 4 seasons. They're 17 of 24. That's what, 75%. And 30 of 48. That's over 60, 65%.
And dude, this isn't college football where you have like this obvious, these Bama, Clemson, Ohio State. You usually put any of those teams in Georgia the last few years, you'd be right the majority of the time. This is different. This is a 68-team tournament. You're talking about whittling it down to a first Sweet 16, then do an Elite 8.
So first they got to get there. First those teams got to get there. Then they got to win at least 2 rounds to make it into the Sweet 16.
Exactly. So that I would say, wow, that is some interesting correlation. And look, I mean, now especially with the change that happened this week, yesterday, 2 days ago with Villanova and Jay Wright, the league, I mean, I think Creighton was going to be the favorite to win the league anyway. I definitely think that they're going to be the favorite to win the Big East Conference now, and that's some interesting correlation between, who I never would have guessed that in college basketball. Like I said, if you would have told me this about college football, hey, ESPN and CBS and NCAA, they've hit the college football playoff teams at a clip this high over the last X amount of years, I would have said, well, yeah, it's pretty easy, I think. You say Alabama and Ohio State and Clemson before the season, you're feeling pretty good, but to do so in college hoops, that surprises me.
Well, I told you that there was some polling data that has come out that you would approve of.
Okay.
Of course, yesterday, 2 nights ago, was Snoop Dogg.
Oh,
and then yesterday we had the marijuana fog. Well, a national survey done by a polling site called Civics, which is spelled like civics, like we took in high school, but with a Q. Civics.
Oh, man, I love weird spelled companies.
The question was asked, do you think the use of cannabis should be legal or not? Every state in the union was over 50%.
Of course they were.
Every state in the union was over.
Of course.
Every state in the union, Josh.
Yes.
Was over 50%.
Yes, it's a very dude. Marijuana use.
Including Nebraska in every state of the union,
Josh. It crosses all political ideologies.
But cannabis also includes your CBDs, your hemps.
Yeah. I know people who would never touch marijuana that are all in on the CBD stuff.
Yeah.
Helps them sleep at night.
It helps relax at the end of the day.
I had plantar fasciitis a few years ago. I used the CBD lotion on my foot It helped a ton.
Well, the CBDs are legal here.
I'm just saying. So, like Nick said, cannabis technically fits kind of into that.
Right.
The
but-
C in
about weed.
CBD stands for cannabinoid.
They're talking about weed, though, in this
I
one.
Yeah, they're
I'm
talking
not
about
surprised at all. Yeah, that's the way this country has moved. I'm sorry that it's leaving you behind, old man. Get on the train.
You keep miscasting me as this person who's against marijuana.
What's the word that you use? Hippies, the devil's lettuce.
It is.
Every time you
I mean,
discuss
it
it,
is.
I've never heard you
I'm not
talk
saying-
about it in a positive light ever. You're a negative boy.
I've heard the
I'm
word
not a negative
burnout.
boy. You guys like to be burnouts. You like to
Burnout.
There it is.
Yeah, you like to be hippies. You
See,
like
here
to
you
be.
go. I like it, except I don't.
You like to be potheads.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I thought these were all terms of endearment.
Is it?
I thought it was all slime to you. So anyway, this survey in Nebraska, 63%.
Oh, baby.
63%.
Are you listening, Pete?
Which is almost identical to Iowa, 66%, Kansas 67%, Missouri 68%.
Put it on the list. Marijuana will be legal in Nebraska before the end of the decade. Put it on the list, John. We'll come back to this.
It'll be the last state, but yeah.
No way. We will definitely not be the last state. If I had to guess,
It's going
The
to be
last
between
state-
Nebraska and Utah.
no, I was going to say
It's-
Utah or Wyoming.
It's going to be the last. Well, I don't know if it'll be last. It'll be damn close.
I think you forget
I don't
how
know, though.
conservative Utah is.
No, that's what I'm saying. I didn't guarantee last, but it'll be
One of
it'll-
among them.
we'll be in the bottom 5%.
Is Utah super conservative, or is it just about the
Yes.
alcohol?
No, it's
No.
Okay,
they're
I've never
very
been to Utah.
conservative.
in Wyoming. In Wyoming.
By the way, of those who responded who were 65 and older, the yeses outdid the no's 46-38.
Yeah, because they're boomers. They remember marijuana.
It
from
also
the,
it helps with
you know,
joint
the
pain,
60s.
which
There you
olds
go,
have a lot
John.
of.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
It helps with the sleep, the relaxing.
Steven tweets in, my friend punched Ricketts in the face when he was a kid. That's hilarious.
That's not nice. That's not nice at all.
It made me laugh, though. I'm going to like that tweet. That's funny.
Yeah, I think the only way that it gets legalized, fully legalized, like Colorado legalized.
Something like if it's federally, like when they
no,
legalize gay
I'm
marriage?
just saying in this state.
If somebody up top needs it,
it would.
Wow, Aaron says Utah has medical weed. I acquiesce.
Iowa
crap.
technically does, but it's not really.
Right. I think it would have to be in a vote. It would have to be similar to the gambling, where you got the petition signatures on there, because part of it is that.
That's the thing. It's just got to get the ballot. If it makes the ballot,
Right.
it's going to be legal.
I don't see the legislature ever passing it, and obviously it would have to have enough votes to override a veto, depending on who the governor is.
Well, remember last year, we thought that it was, or not last year. Wow. 2020, 2 years ago. We thought it was going to be on the ballot, and we didn't think gambling was, and then it flipped because of
it was some loophole.
There was a
the
very
Attorney
specific
General's
loophole.
office ruled that they didn't ask the question properly on the ballot.
Correct.
Yeah, there's always a technicality. Again, because you dope heads are always using the weed,
heads.
you don't know how to write out your petitions properly.
Lopez. I wasn't involved in any petitions. I don't even know if I signed one.
Also,
Maybe I did. I
a
don't
lot of the dope heads John wrote a lot of songs that you listen to.
Nick, stop going to music all the time. This is a sports and weed show, not a music and weed show.
Yeah, I mean, who cares if they wrote music or not?
Music that you liked.
Well, yeah, so that's fine.
That means they could write.
Really? A do ron a do ron. I mean, that wasn't. I don't even remember who did that
okay.
song, but yeah,
I thought you were
there's
gonna
some
say,
great lyrics out there.
Obla-dee,
Yeah.
What goes on,
Yeah,
brah?
shower the people you love with love. Yeah, there's some deep lyrics
Oh
there.
man, I felt love hearing you say those lyrics, John. Wow, I'm proud of the country there. What was the highest approved state? By the way?
Honestly,
I guess it's legal in so many of them.
Yeah, I mean, Illinois,
Is it like 14 it's
75,
legal in?
California,
I don't know, Nick.
77, Oregon, 78, Washington, 81. Those look to be the highest, because the problem is the whole country is
18.
so blue.
Yeah,
because they use the color blue to
That's
determine.
a blue wave there, John.
It's a blue wave, all right.
Or a green wave.
18 states it's legalized.
You're saying
that
fully,
18?
fully legalized,
Full-
Nick? Fully.
Let me confirm that.
My guess is that's right. I think it's legal. It's
Is it that many now?
medicinal in more states.
Right.
Yeah.
So did I make you happy?
I mean,
Did I make you?
Not really. I'm not surprised. This is, of course, duh. Yeah. What?
I thought you would be happy.
I mean, it doesn't mean anything. I don't even know what you're talking about. Why are you talking to me? It's a one beer Friday. It's not a one joint Friday, John.
20.
20. Wow.
Recreational in 20.
Wow. How about them apples? That you could turn into a bong.
Let me tell you what's never happening on this program.
It'd be more of a bowl, Josh.
One hit Friday is not happening on this
Honestly, it's probably a smart
That's
idea.
a good idea.
Probably a smart idea.
Yeah. Because then Josh will have to wear his glasses all the time instead of just today. All right, coming up.
I'm a professional, folks.
It is a one beer Friday.
Yes, it is. We're supporting local today.
Yes, we are. And I hope you are too. Or I just hope you're enjoying the day because it's a beautiful, warm, beer drinking baseball day on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More time-saving traffic center. Heads up, a crash on eastbound I-80 at 60th has the right lane blocked, and it's causing significant delays all the way back to the 680 split. So be ready for delays on eastbound I-80. Also, slow going on eastbound L Street from about I-80 to 90th. Delays on westbound Industrial Road around 144th, and slow going on westbound 370 between 42nd and 60th. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Romeo's Mexican Food and Pizza.
Not your typical restaurant, not your typical place. Romeo's, not your typical restaurant, or your not your typical taste. Romeo's Mexican Food and Pizza. Not your typical restaurant.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Hello, I'm Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. If you've been dissatisfied with your current banking situation, maybe it's time to move to a bank that works to deserve your business. We have an engaged staff that offers exceptional personalized service. We also have a great digital banking platform. We have 2 locations at 108th and Dodge or 202nd and Pacific. So if you're looking for a superior banking relationship, give us a call at 402-827-8100. We'll answer on the first ring. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
It hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, I never smoked a cigarette. How in the hell did I get lung cancer?
I don't smoke. I've never smoked. So I started Googling. One word just kept coming up, like it was in bold and red, and it was radon.
Radon is the number 2 cause of lung cancer.
Well, you don't know if it's in your home. You got to test. You can't see it. You can't taste it. You can't smell it.
What's your level? Radon Defense Midwest can help. Visit radonradio.com for a special offer. That's radonradio.com.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now, 402-671-7777.
1180 The Zone is your home for Omaha Storm Chasers baseball. The Storm Chasers are in action at Werner Park and beyond with an exciting team filled with future Major League stars. Join Jake Eisenberg for every pitch, every hit, and every out. Tune in and stir up the storm all season long on 1180 The Zone.
The Storm Chasers are on the road versus the Memphis Redbirds. The pregame is set for 6:45 and first pitch is at 7:05 on 1180 The Zone.
Healthy Kids Day is Sunday, April 24th. Stop by Stinson Park on 67th and Center Street, Exarban Village from 11 to 2. The first 1,000 kids receive a free goodie bag. Healthy Kids Day is a safe family event with free bike helmets, while supplies last, bounce houses, sports activities, family fit demos, mascots, safety information, and so much more. This free event is brought to you by the National Safety Council Nebraska chapter and the YMCA of Greater Omaha. Sunday, April 24th, Stinson Park, Healthy Kids Day.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
It'd be nice to have a boat.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a boat.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a boat.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a boat.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a boat.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a boat.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a boat.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a boat.
Throw.
When you're gone.
You just banging and banging and banging. When a guy's banging you,
I drank beer with my friends. Sometimes I had too many beers. I liked beer. I still like beer. Had beers, have some beers. One beer, drink beer, drinks beer, drank beer, and drinking beer.
Upstairs, downstairs, where was it? I don't know, but I had one beer.
We probably have Beer Center each week. Ralph Club, biggest contributor. Yeah, for that. I like beer. I don't know if you like Beer Center or not. What do you like to drink? Next week.
I had one beer. Friday.
Hanging out and having some beers with friends, which I gladly do and which I fully embrace.
Well, you think it was? Nope, it was one beer. Friday.
Yep, it's that time to crack 'em. It's a One Beer Friday presented by 1620 The Beer.
Ooh.
Welcome, everyone, to the ballpark. We are at Charles Schwab Field for Blue Jays and Seton Hall this weekend. Game time tonight at 6:30. And I'll be on the call over on the Flow Sports. This part of the Big East video package. So
nice.
Tune in if you can't be here, but it is a perfect night to enjoy some ball.
Oh, yeah.
Ball and brews.
Oh, yeah.
And what do we have here? I was trying to read off your photo of what we're having, but
why did you just look at the can? It was sitting right next to you.
Well,
weirdo.
because I just assumed you knew how to run technology.
So it's actually because I was trying to take the picture a different way, and then I forgot to fix it when I took the last picture. Alas, it is Ditch Beer 2022. It's funny, after the conversation we just had about marijuana.
Ditch weed.
That we end up drinking this Ditch Beer 2022. So the newest brew or the newest iteration of this beer from Cross Strain. Picked it up today, supporting local. I'd say that is a tasty, tasty beverage, John.
It has got a strong, hoppy punch.
Oh, yeah.
To it.
Mm-hmm.
Big fans of our good friends over at Cross Strain.
Always.
Yeah, great stuff that they put out. And I hope you are enjoying One Beer Friday. Send us a picture, whatever it is you're enjoying this weekend. Hashtag One Beer Friday. Send it to us. JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed at USC 1620. Still to come, we've got predictions. We've got some unsportsmanlike content. We have bet of the day. But got this tweet.
Oh.
From Noah. Noah was asking us earlier in the program, what would you guys do if Nebraska gets double-digit wins this season? And this kind of branches from the conversation that we had earlier when we had Bill Conley of ESPN.com on the show. And he, just like, his SP Plus, just like ESPN's Football Power Index, are probably going to project 7 to 7.5 wins this year for Nebraska, which, is better than doubling the win total from last year. So the analytics continue to love Nebraska. I said that I think when the Vegas numbers start coming out, maybe even within the next month or two.
I was going to say
May.
It was May last year.
I think some of it's kind of waiting to see how the portal all shakes out and everything. Which players leave, which players stay.
Well, we're getting close. We're getting close.
We are getting close.
Odds to win totals and odds, and conference championship odds, playoff odds, etc.
But I think the win total when Vegas comes out with those numbers will be in the 6 to 6.5 range. I don't think they'll be as aggressive as the analytics are, but I think they're going to be able to get enough action at 6 to 6.5 wins with, maybe the fading the juice a little bit to the under, or maybe they'll fade it to the over. Who knows? I mean, Nebraska has been infamously under its season win totals, I think, every year. I
believe since 17. I think they hit the over in 2016 when they went 9-3 in the regular season.
And it would have been just one time since, because I can't remember what the totals were in Bo Pelini's last year, but they would have. I'm guessing they were definitely under in 15.
Yeah,
you would have been probably over. I don't think the total was 9, so they would have been over in 16. But you're right. Since 2017, they have been under whatever, and the win total has basically been between 6 and 7 every year, except I think 2017, wasn't it at 8?
2017. I'm looking up. I have a bunch of win totals open right now. I'll look up 2017 real quick. Let's see.
I think 2017 was in the 8 range.
All right, 2017, Nebraska was 7.
And they hit the under, obviously,
they hit
on that. So they have been under every year.
So in 2018, it was at 6. Frost's first year, it was at 6. 2019. Guess what they were in 2019? I guess my reaction may have been.
Oh, the 2019 win total? Was it 8?
8.5.
Damn!
Wow. Easy under there. 2020 is weird. I'm trying to find.
Well, 2020, I don't know if you're going to get anything for 2020 because
the
season got messed up and we didn't really have.
They would have been 8, which if they play a full 12-game schedule, that's another under.
Yep.
And then last year it was 6. 6 on the nose. So you have a couple of 6s, a 7, and an 8.5.
Yeah, I don't think Vegas is going to move much off of that number because why should they, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Nebraska's hit the under consistently, and if the lower they can keep that number to entice bettors to go, oh, it's definitely going to be higher, and then they cash in when it hits under. That's kind of the way the whole line thing will work with Vegas. So Noah's question, what would you guys do if Nebraska gets double-digit wins? And I kind of snarkily answered I'd faint.
Well, yeah, and my answer was I've wanted them to win 9 games ever since the drop kind of became a thing at the end of the Mike Riley era, because I've said we'll bake a cake. We'll have a 9-win party. So I would.
Yes, we will do that.
We'll bake a cake. We'll have a parade, the 9-win parade.
Yeah, you know what? I'll even take it a step further. When they get to 7, we're baking a cake.
There you go. That's a bowl game cake.
Can it be a lemon blueberry? Those are good cakes. It's a good cake.
What the hell, Nick? No, we're
trying to celebrate the accomplishment.
Not take a cake that will get thrown into the trash.
It's a
you're
good
the only one who
cake.
ate it.
Well, then Noah responded, whoa, like he was shocked that it's a faint. But think about it. I mean,
dude, 10 wins.
If 10 wins, that's going to be 3 to 4 wins above the Vegas total. You don't usually go that much above the total. And
you're tripling the win total from last year. Even
exactly.
If you say, let's just even go down to 9 wins. 9-3. They win 9 games this season. Let's say that happens. That means they are tripling the win total that they had a year ago. And his response, so as you guys went back and forth, he said, better quarterback, Whipple's offense will adjust faster than years past in the first year of the offense, plus better wide receivers.
Even though Whipple's offenses have always started slow.
I was going to say, he says, plus better wide receivers and running backs. They have enough D. I think just the biggest question is the defensive line, obviously, plus the schedule favors more with the crossovers. And then he lays out the wins. He had 2 losses, Oklahoma and Michigan. And look, Noah, I'm impressed by your faith. A man named Noah being faithful, I've seen it before, so I guess I shouldn't be that surprised here. But in all seriousness,
Nice
like
callback.
that makes it seem too easy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, better this, better that, better this, better that. It's not that easy, and you just said it. Mark Whipple's offense, there's no guarantee that it is automatically a slam dunk better unit. We had numbers going back to December when he first got hired, where we kind of dove into, hey, what do his offenses do in his first year? And for the most part, they have improved upon his arrival overall in terms of average. At Miami, it happened. It happened a little bit at UMass. It did not happen, though, when he went to Pitt. But you also, I'm looking at the SP Plus offensive rankings, John, and I see 102nd, 106th, 102nd. I mean, even with Kenny Pickett, it took until year 3 under Pickett for the offense to go from 109 to 86 to finally 4th last year. I don't know. I don't see that part as a guarantee. So I don't mean to pick on Noah here, but I guess I've gotten a little frustrated over the last few years when it's like, hey, remove bad player X, insert player Y. He's automatically going to be better. I don't know, man. As for all of his faults, Adrian Martinez
covered up a lot of faults with this team.
A lot of faults.
He was your leading rusher over the last 4 years.
Yeah, and
he covered up a lot of issues, and you're not going to have that this time around. You're not going to be leaning on your quarterback run game
correct
this time around. And yeah, maybe they won't have to, but remember the offensive line. And this isn't to, debate whether or not they can get to 10 wins, because the reason I brought up the conversation is I was reading from Sam McEwen's Q&A in his Rewind earlier this week. And someone asked, what happens if the Huskers go 6-6 and head to Shreveport? Now, Sam was correct in saying, well, it won't be Shreveport because the Big Ten doesn't have a contract with the Independence Bowl.
Yeah.
But if it's Detroit or Phoenix, which is probably the likely destination for a 6-6 team, he wrote, Frost will return in 2023. The Husker brass would love to have a 2-year conversation about Frost and this staff. So Sam buying into the same theory that I've thrown out there, and that is that by making the changes that they did and such sizable changes to the offensive, especially the offensive staff, that as long as they show modest improvement and can get to 500, that's going to be enough to earn another year, even though, because, and I've called it the reset button. It's almost like it's, year 1.2, right? It's almost like it's another year one all over again. Now, it's not a year one in the sense that he's going to get 4 or 5 years to get it going, but it's kind of a soft reset on the whole situation, that if they can show some improvement and show that things are moving in the right direction, that because of all the changes that were made and because of that loyalty factor, which was highly emphasized when the decision was made to bring him back, I'm with Sam. I think I think he worded it quite well. They would love to have the brass, aka Trev Alberts, would love to have a 2-year conversation about this staff and not a 1-year conversation.
It goes back, if Trev is willing to move on, and he's willing to move on, more importantly for this conversation, after the first bowl season yet, the salesman job that he has to do is a large part of the discussion. That does not have to be a negative in terms of connotation. When some people hear salesman, they'll think of a used car salesman, for example. No. It's just he'd have to convince the fan base that he is making the right decision for them, because look, the question would be asked, right? Hey, Trev, they went 3-9 last year. There was a makeover of the offensive side of the ball, essentially every coach. Then they actually go to a bowl game, and you decided to move on. They doubled the win total from 2021 to 2022. They did so in year one with all these new coaches, and yet you move on. Why? It's a very fair question to be asked. And so he'd have to have an answer for it. And so, look, I don't think in year 5 that a 6-win season is good enough. I don't think.
I don't either, but that's why I think it's a soft reset.
I understand that totally.
I think a soft reset has been hit on the program and on this particular coach. And again, the key is you've got to show some improvement.
Yeah.
I don't think politics, buyout be damned. And remember, the buyout changes after October 1st. Gets a lot cheaper after October 1st.
A lot cheaper.
That those safety nets that were there last year apparently are not going to be there this year. There has to be improvement. Where it gets murky is if you're talking about a 5-win season. 6 is a really important number because it gets you to that bowl game, and B, it gets you that chance to get 7. I think if it's above 6, it's a no-brainer. Barring just the fact that there's some internal friction that we don't know about, or other factors that we're not familiar with. I mean, 7 wins and above, it's all right. We're trucking right along. 6, I think, is the threshold. It's murky at 5. Under that, I think the decision is as clear as crystal.
I want to go back to the contract thing you just mentioned because I wanted to talk this out with you. Reading from the stories about it, the buyout goes from $15 million to $7.5 million if he is fired after October 1st. If he is fired before October 1st, he is still owed the $15 million. October 1st marks the 5th game of the season. It actually originally marked the 6th game of the season, but now Nebraska has a bye week on September 24th. They will play 5 games. Is there a world in which October 2nd arrives and it's literally that's the drop dead date? Or are you looking at this situation where in season, probably hands off, just given the nature of this program over the years, even though they did actually make some changes in the not the middle, but towards the end of last year, there were still 2 games left. I guess what I'm asking is if they're 2-3, if they're 3-2 after the Indiana game, are we having a particular conversation that week, or does he almost let it play out before the second bye week?
I know that people outside the walls will be having the conversation, but inside the walls, I don't think. Again, barring disaster, there won't be anything moving until December.
Yeah,
or late November.
Last year, in the lead up to the Illinois game, I'll just say myself, I put a lot into that game in terms of if they lose. I said it on the air last year. If they lose this game, 3-9 is on the table. Sure enough, that's what happened. I don't want to do that again with Northwestern, but man, just given this contract situation, I almost feel like we have to have that discussion just because the buyout will go down a month later. It goes down a month later. And, I mean, if they lose that game, again, I know I say this a lot, it becomes a math problem.
I'm not even looking at it from a contractual situation. I'm looking at it from the same standpoint as last year, a mental situation.
Yeah.
You can change out coaches. You can change out players. But I said this earlier this week, yesterday, talking about Jay Wright. A team takes on the personality of its leader.
Yeah.
A team takes on the personality of its leader. And that team, if they stumble early out of the gates, which they have done practically every year, whether it's in the first game or the second game, they have stumbled out of the gates. It has been a hindrance to the rest of the season. It is a tone setter. It's not a team that plays very well from behind. The conversation hasn't really been had yet, similar to the Illinois game last year, the run-up to the Illinois game. But all things considered, yeah, it's just as important. It is just as important.
If not more so.
It may even be more important because now it at least appears as if there is some writing on the wall with the way the contract was changed and everything else. And the fact that you thumped Northwestern last year.
Yeah.
Owned them last year. It was the last, and it's the last time you beat anybody.
Literally the
it's
last
the
win.
last win.
Yeah.
So in some ways, the Northwestern game, as much as the Illinois game set the table for what was a very ugly season, I think you can make a very similar argument, if not a stronger argument, that Northwestern sets a table for either a successful or bounce-back campaign or more of the same.
Amazing Daniel writes in on the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed, talking about the early buyout first. He says, I think it would have to be particularly over the top, like 0-5 for that to happen in season. End of the year, 4 seems like a given, and 7 seems like a given on the polar opposites, obviously. 5 or 6, I have no idea. And I like that Daniel said that because I remember last year having very similar discussions with you, with others about like, is it actually better for the program if they kind of are on the extremes? If you win 7 or 8 games, you put yourself in a spot of, hey, no doubt about it, you got to bring him back. My argument was, if it's going to be bad, you almost want it to be 5 or 4 because then at least the decision is easier. They won 3, and yet it was murkier than ever. I never would have expected that to come about. Jed says, I know I shouldn't be anymore, but I continue to be amazed at people that think this situation at Nebraska is a quick fix. I'm with Jed, man.
I'm with Jed too. The fact that people think that this is a quick fix after the disaster of Mike Riley, it's just, I know that's not what he meant, but
man, seriously, as we've got now a few weeks removed from spring ball, that's how I have looked at this. It's not that easy to just go from, John, they're 3-9. It's not like they were 5-7. They were 3-9. They lost all these close games. If
they lost these close games,
and then they removed half the offensive, more than half the offensive.
But it's
staff.
also the way the games were lost.
Yeah.
There was some Keystone Cop-esque ways in which a team lost a game.
Yeah.
And I've said this before. Way too many people have PTSD from blowout losses.
Oh, yeah.
The way Nebraska lost the Michigan State game, the way Nebraska lost the Iowa game especially, those 2 games particularly stand out, are worse ways to lose than getting blown out by Ohio State or getting blown out by Michigan or even getting blown out by Wisconsin or Iowa because you had the game won.
Yeah.
We got to get over the PTSD. Got to. Because that's immaterial. It's still a loss.
Yeah.
I will argue this until the day I die. There is no worse way to lose a game than a game you have won. It's like Indiana Jones having that gold medallion, that gold trophy in his hand, and then Belloc comes along and swipes it from him. You thought you had it. You're getting ready to get on the plane. You're getting ready to take it back to the museum, and your archenemy comes in and just swipes it away from you. It was yours. That's a worse way to lose, in my opinion, and it happened on multiple occasions in Keystone Cop-esque fashion.
Michael writes in, how you get to 6 wins would matter too. Likely to stockpile wins first half of the season. If he ends 1-5, is that enough? That and again, I love that question. It's a great question because I often think about how Trev is going to have to view everything and taking everything into account. John, would it shock you if Nebraska had some blowout losses? And so after an entire year that was built, the arguments were built around one side saying, hey, they're losing close. The other side saying, yeah, but they're 3-9. What happens if they're 6-6, but 3 or 4 of the losses are by 21 points? How will that jive with the discussion? It's very fascinating. BTD says, could you say that Whipple hasn't started with as talented of a quarterback as Casey? It's a good question, and I don't know.
Probably, yeah.
Kenny Pickett, he got him going into year 2 as a starter, and now he's about to get drafted. So, that version of Kenny Pickett not as good as last year's version of Kenny Pickett, but. And again, how much of that's on Whipple? But
the level of competition is harder than UMass.
Definitely.
And
I don't remember the ACC in 2009 when he was with Miami, but yeah,
or Pitt. I'm thinking of Pitt.
Yeah, and certainly Pitt. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So everything kind of levels out.
Yeah.
At the end.
Brad says, you guys talking about it now. It ain't about the players. The in-game coaching is why Nebraska's losing close games. That is why I asked Bill Conley. He joined us earlier. That's why I asked him about hey, Nebraska, their SP Plus ranking the last 2 years shows them as a top 40 team, and yet their cumulative record in the last 2 years is 6-14. What should that tell us? It's at a certain point, if on paper you're awesome, but the wins aren't showing itself, that has to fall down to coaching. At least to a certain degree.
Yeah.
I would assume so.
Coming up next, it's time for some weekend predictions. We got a lot of NBA, and Nick's all excited because Formula One is back.
Oh,
finally.
It
is.
Man.
Yeah.
They had a whole week off.
It's only been 2 weeks, since they last raced.
Oh, wow.
Predictions next on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everyone. Josh Peterson here for my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. The great weather is finally here. It feels like golf weather right now outside. And if the sticks have been put away, they've been in the back of the closet, it is time to bring them out. But if you're a little worried about going to the course because it's been a few months since we've had some warm weather, it's the perfect time to get your golf game back in shape with Mike Fopper, the director of instruction there at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. He has done wonders for my swing. You know, when I was in Mexico last week, people forget that I was in Mexico, went to the golf course, and there were particular moments, I can remember them, where maybe I had a bad approach shot, maybe I was bad off the tee, but I got up to my ball and I remembered maybe something that Mike had said or taught me over the last few years, was able to use that and then have a much better shot following. He can do that for you, whether it's the physical part of the game or certainly the mental part of the game. Mike will give you the tools that will help you get better and thus enjoy the game of golf more than you ever have before. Set up a lesson today, 402-498-0220, and you can always give that phone number a call and book your virtual or your tee times for the full 18. They're located just north of Dodge on 120th Street, Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis.
Previously on the crossover.
What was your biggest takeaway?
There's no point in discussing any of that.
Okay, well, that was it. That was
Seriously, it was bad. It was terrible. It was the worst.
Josh, they didn't do anything. The first half, when the actual players that will be playing in the fall played, they didn't tackle. They barely even two-hand touched.
Oh, you tap them on the shoulder pad, and it's like, down.
Sharp and Benning in the morning. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike Conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from Canoyer Garden Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly cloudy, windy, and very warm for your Friday, with highs this afternoon topping out in the mid-80s to even the lower 90s further west. Wind advisories remain in place throughout the afternoon and into early evening. Gusts possible out of the south today between 45 to 55 miles an hour. Chance for storms as we head overnight tonight, few of which may become strong to severe. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. Heads up, a crash on eastbound I-80 at 60th has the right lane blocked, and it's causing significant delays all the way back to the 680 split. So be ready for delays on eastbound I-80. Also, slow going on eastbound L Street from about I-80 to 90th. Delays on westbound Industrial Road around 144th, and slow going on westbound 370 between 42nd and 60th. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Romeo's Mexican Food and Pizza.
Enjoy Romeo's Grande Pizza and Taco Combo. 1 large 2-topping pizza, 4 soft-shelled tacos, chips and queso dip for only $28.99. Only at Romeo's. Carry out only.
Not your typical restaurant.
At Baker's, fresh groceries are our thing, so we check your delivery order for freshness at every step from farm to store and pick and pack every veggie in your free pickup order with care, because we treat your food the way we'd want ours to be treated. We're fresh every day, so shop anyway. Baker's, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
It's the big $10 sale, so mix and match and get 2, 3, 4, 5, or even 10 for $10 with your card. So many great deals. Baker's, fresh for everyone.
It's the sale you've been waiting for. It's 420 time, and 42 degrees has the deals for you. Let's start with pipes. Whether it's glass, silicone, metal, or wood, we have the right pipe for you. Buy one, get one free. Thinking about vaporizers? We have them starting at $29.99 with one of the largest collections of premium kratom and CBDs, Delta 8 and 420 pricing. Why shop anywhere else? So for some of the best deals of the year, plenty of stock, then come to the source. Buy your mom's house.
Give your business a whole host of options with Host Coffee. The most impressive selection of office coffee, water options, healthy food options, and vending technologies. Host Coffee, serving you since 72.
Shop Lanahaw Nurseries for all your mulch needs. Best quality mulch at the best price. You'll notice our prices are lower than anybody else's. That's because you're buying your mulch straight from where it's made. Convenient delivery or pickup. Lanahaw Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
Are those receipts? Tax day is nearly here, and Chanel is stressing. Why do I always wait till the last minute? Her small business needs a bookkeeper to crunch some big numbers.
Oh, these spreadsheets make my head spin.
None of this adds up. Indeed can help her hire great people fast. I need Indeed. Indeed, you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know that radon is the #1 cause of lung cancer for non-smokers and that our region has some of the highest levels in the country? Radon Defense Midwest can test and fix your home. Visit radonradio.com for an exclusive offer for 1620 The Zone listeners. That's radonradio.com.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
I'm a Big Red fan, man, so go Big Red.
The 1620 The Zone.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for predictions.
Under, bet the under. Vikings and the under.
It is that time of week where we make our picks for the weekend. Now, last week we just did an exhibition round because Josh was
Traveling.
out of the country.
And then in the country, but still traveling.
And none of us did very well last week.
Very
we were
on
all
brand.
under 500.
Oof.
Now, that's not very on brand for people like you and Nick. But
Wow.
for me, who is right now leading healthily.
Don't forget that I'm
there is such a
still
word, healthy.
your reigning world champion of predictions.
Just for a couple more months, Nick, and then it'll be football season, and we'll wipe the floor with you.
So going back 2 weeks to the last time that the three of us we all had good weeks. We were all 500 or better.
Let's go.
But I was best
Damn
because that's who I am. I'm the best. So I've got an 11 game lead on Josh, and Nick is 6 back of you.
Ooh, that means you have a 17 game lead on Nick.
Yeah, he's kind of
a little stinky.
Still your world champion, though.
I don't think so. That doesn't.
We're 0-8, but we won the Super Bowl.
A lot of NBA this weekend, and as I mentioned when we were on with Kent, a lot of tight lines tonight. The Heat and the Hawks. Kent's Heat 1.5 point favorites at the Hawks. Not going to overthink this. It's not the heat; it's the humidity, but it's also the heat.
H-E-A-T, heat.
Stibbs' favorite song, "The Heat Is On."
Is this true?
Stibbs loves it.
Wow, interesting.
I think he doesn't. That'd be my guess.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a heat sweep.
All right.
Bucks Bulls.
Ooh.
Milwaukee, 2.5 point favorites at Chicago.
Yeah, with the Middleton injury, not very good. That said, I still like the Bucks to come back and win this one and go up 2-1.
Nick?
I want the Bulls.
Wow, the dream of the 90s.
Bulls. Is
the wrong team favored?
The wrong team is favored.
Wow.
The Suns are at the Pelicans. This is a 1-8 game, ladies and gentlemen, and the Suns are only a 1.5 favorite at the Pelicans. Is this New Orleans' first ever home playoff game?
No, they actually won a series a few years ago.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, when they had Anthony Davis.
We don't even remember those things. It's the Pelicans.
Yeah. Who you like, Nick?
Well, last time I wanted to pick the Pelicans and didn't. They won.
Yep.
So I'm going to pick the Pelicans this time, and they're probably still not going to win.
They're definitely not. I'm going to go with the Suns.
Yeah, I mean, the Suns are going supernova, but it hasn't blown up yet. I'll take the
16-0, right?
I'll take
16-1.
No.
Oh.
No, 16-0, Golden State. Celtics trying to take a commanding edge over the NETS Nets.
This is tomorrow.
3.5 is the number. Celtics plus 3.5. I think the Nets will get this one done.
Yeah, I do too. I picked them to win game 2, and they were up a lot of that game, and I'm going to go Brooklyn, though.
I want the Nets.
Come on, KD. Play better, man.
Big series in the American League East. It may determine the division.
Whoa, already.
Red Sox at Red. You know, these games count exactly the same amount as the games in September.
That's true.
They're 3 of 162.
Man,
Red Sox at Rays. Pick the series best of 3.
Rays 2-1.
I also want Rays 2-1.
God, you guys are boring.
What are you doing?
Because I was going to do the same thing.
Oh, nice.
I think the Rays win the series. The only thing I can do is pick them in a sweep. Yeah, what the hell? Screw Boston.
Wow.
Rays,
All right.
Rays in a sweep.
Hey, in the words of Winning Time, F Boston.
Also,
That's a
anybody
spoiler
in New
alert.
York.
Wow, Nick.
Does Miguel Cabrera, who was denied his opportunity at 3,000 yesterday by Aaron Boone's selfishness trying to win a game, does Miggy get his 3,000th hit tonight, Nick?
Absolutely, he does. We can be Mr. 3000 together.
Yeah, Nick's right.
I'm going to say no.
Wow.
You really think people are going to spite him again?
No, it just you don't get a hit every day.
That's true.
I'm going to say it waits until this weekend. USFL.
Oh,
our
Why?
New Jersey Generals.
Oh, that's Mike Riley's team?
Yes.
Oh,
Our New Jersey Generals are favored by 1.5 against the Michigan Panthers. I'm going to go with our Generals.
Look, Mike Riley, what did they call him, John? A 500 coach. A win this weekend would mean?
He's a 500 coach.
Easy peasy.
Panther like a panther. Give me the Panthers.
All right.
Panther like a panther.
It's a Run the Jewels song.
Oh, okay.
We got British Premier League.
Leicester.
John Lester is taking on Aston Martin. I'm going to go. I got to go John Lester. I mean, the guy pitched us to a World Series.
People forget that Leicester won the EPL when they were 5,000 to 1 underdogs to win the EPL. Got to go with Leicester, always and forever.
Wait, I thought that was the Crystal Palace.
No, that was Leicester. Because remember, we were like, wait, I thought it was Leicester, but it's Leicester.
I want Leicester, but
I'm sorry, Nick. What was
You're
Crystal
good.
Palace when they won?
They haven't won. They didn't win the Premier League.
Malice in the Crystal Palace.
Nice. Yeah, they just have a fun name because it sounds like a place that you'd go smoke meth. The Crystal Palace.
Okay.
I want
I'm
Leicester,
sorry.
but I still want to pronounce it as Leicester.
Wow.
It's fun.
Going against what the people of that country call it. Tough look for Nick.
Leicester.
Kind of a unique weekend for
for
NASCAR on Fox because Dale Earnhardt Jr., who works for NBC, is in the Fox booth. Imagine if Tony Romo worked a game with the boys on Fox.
I was wondering
or
why
ESPN.
everyone was tweeting about that recently.
He belongs on the track.
He does, but they worked out a deal where he could, because Fox is rotating some guest analysts because they lost Jeff Gordon last year.
Is he okay?
Jeff's fine. He's just managing a team now.
I thought you were saying like R.I.P.
No,
I
Jeff's
didn't
fine.
realize he died.
So it'll be kind of fun. Dale Jr. will be in the Fox booth. It's Talladega, man. Anything goes in this race.
I love Dega. It's my favorite track.
It is a wild ass
Oh
card.
yeah, it's an oval like always, man. Great track.
Josh, it's a very big high speed oval, like over 200 miles an hour all the time.
Bigger oval.
Many crashes.
Wow.
Many crashes.
Look at you.
On many sides.
I'm rooting for safety, not violence.
I'm rooting for safety, but there's probably going to be a big crash that takes out half the damn
I go with the middle row this time. Give me Logano, give me Keselowski, give me Chase Elliott.
Wow.
What do you think happens on the oval, John?
Well,
don't forget to drink your Ovaltine.
Yeah,
a
no
crummy
kidding.
commercial.
I'm going to go. He's not running well, but I'm going to go Harvick. I'm going to go.
Who's telling you he's not running well?
Let's see. Well, I'm gonna go with my guy Tyler Reddick, who got screwed out of a win last week. He's owed one. And give me Austin Cindric, who won the Daytona 500.
Give me Bubba, Kyle, and Harvick.
Which Kyle?
Kyle Busch, sorry.
Bubba.
And
Bub.
who? And who?
Harvick.
All right, because it's so predictable. It's such a predictable sport. Formula One. We don't pick three. We just pick a winner. Go ahead, Nick.
You guys go first.
Well, I'm gonna go with Vergoen. He's not Verstappen. He's Vergoen.
I thought that Lewis Hamilton was good.
He is.
He was, but then Formula One screwed him last year, and he lost all his mojo.
No,
the
the Mercedes
him the car without an engine. Is that what?
Yes, yeah. They took the engine out.
Man, I'd be so mad.
He had to Flintstones it with his feet on the ground.
The Mercedes is really bad. Josh,
Let's go,
don't.
Louis.
Okay.
No, I just did it, Nick. I just did it.
You're going Sir Louis?
Lewis Hamilton.
You're going Louis?
Yeah.
Give me Charles.
This is just a weird sport. Hey, the cars are bad now. What a fun sport.
They're not
hey,
bad
Peyton
for
Manning,
everybody.
Your helmet's bad. You're going to get a concussion.
They're just
but
new
that's the fun of
regulations.
it.
They're just new regulations, Josh. And some teams adapt better than others. Mercedes didn't. They're super bouncy this year.
It sounds like they're trying to screw over Sir Louis again.
I know, and I'm a big John Hamm guy, and he voices the Mercedes commercials.
He does?
He used to.
Wow.
Huskers
softball, they were supposed to start this afternoon, but because of weather, they pushed today's game over to a doubleheader tomorrow, and then they'll finish on Sunday.
Hell yeah.
They've won, is it still 18 in a row, right?
So, yep.
Pick the series, Nebraska softball at Wisconsin.
They're going to lose one.
Whoa!
But they're going to win the other two. Take that, Wisconsin.
Give me a sweep because Husker women's sports programs are good.
I'm going to go with Josh on this one. I think the streak does come to an end, but the Huskers will still take the series.
Red says, I'm going with Mario Andretti.
He doesn't race anymore.
That's a great pick. That is a great pick.
It's a good pick, but he doesn't race anymore.
Great pick.
Well, that's Formula One's problem.
Yeah,
his brother Luigi, though.
I don't like that guy.
He does. Brother Luigi. Wow. The Italian Defamation League is going to be all over you, Nick. Instead of picking the series, total runs scored by Creighton this weekend in 3 games. Over under 20.5.
What are they averaging this year per game?
Creighton is averaging. I got the number here right in front of me. Hang on.
Say you're the broadcaster.
It is. Oh, it went to the wrong screen. Averaging 6.3 runs per game.
6.3 times 3 is 18.9. Under. Bet the under. Blue Jays in the under.
Taking the over.
I want the under.
And finally,
the
brace ball is at Indiana. Pick the series.
Nick?
I want Indiana 2-1.
I'm going to concur. Hoosiers 2-1.
You guys are haters. Give me the Skurs in a sweep.
Wow.
Ooh.
Skurs in a sweep.
Wow. And that's predictions, friends.
Hell yeah.
Iowa. Oh.
No, that's later. Coming up, we got some unsportsmanlike content.
I love it.
On 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everyone. Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision. Right now, we are sitting in the broadcast booth high above the baseball stadium. And if you are like me and sometimes you sit up high at a sporting event, you want to make sure that you can see everything that is happening on the field of play. And, of course, that is where my friends at Kugler Vision come in. They offer all 7 forms of modern FDA vision or FDA approved vision correction procedures. You can give them a call today at 402-558-2211, or you can visit their website, kuglervision.com. Schedule a consultation, go through that consultation process, and figure out which of those procedures is going to work best for you. I know that I've said it a lot, but ever since I had mine done back in 2018, going to sporting events has been so much more enjoyable for me than it was prior to that. Of course, there are the games where you're outside and you need the sunglasses, then it gets a little cloudy, or it's a day game that turns into a night game, and so you're putting those away. Of course, every now and then it's going to rain and you're trying to clean off the glasses, but you have those big streaks on them. I don't have that problem anymore, and when I go and I sit high up like I do sometimes at the stadium in Lincoln, my parents' seats, those are high up, no problem at all. I can see what is happening on the field below. One more time, 402-558-2211, or schedule the consultation on their website, kuglervision.com.
The Connor Happer Show.
Sam, would you agree that onions are the most valuable vegetable?
Yeah, they're valuable. Broccoli's awfully valuable, too. I don't know. I mean, I think onions way up there. Certainly a versatile operation.
That's what we're looking for.
One thing you can't do with onions is you can't really have them as a side dish. And broccoli, you can. Usually, onions are part of a dish. You don't have an onion salad, and you'd be hard-pressed to find a better salad on the planet than a broccoli, bacon, cranberry salad. That's one heck of a salad.
The Connor Happer Show. Weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone.
Searching for your next vehicle? Shop Woodhouse first. Over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles in stock and on our lots, with new trades arriving daily that you can explore on woodhouse.com. Plus, confidence comes standard when you purchase a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse. With our multi-point inspection, transparent pricing, available add-on warranties, and financing options, purchasing a pre-owned vehicle has never been simpler. Experience the difference and drive away today confident and road-ready in your new vehicle from Woodhouse.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now. 402-671-7777.
What's the room again?
1240, down at the end.
Ooh, what's that? Sammy, don't touch that. That's someone's old food.
Here we are. Do you have the key?
You have both of ours.
Oh, right. Not working.
Rub it.
Come on.
Try flipping it over.
Seriously. Why can't we go inside? I'm tired.
Give me yours.
You have mine.
All right.
What?
Please, if you
Dad,
could just...
why aren't you opening the door?
Can everyone just shut the...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Watching a ball game at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is just, well, pretty awesome, actually. And it doesn't matter if you prefer the college dink or the big league crack of the bat. There's nothing better than watching a game with a cold, frosty one, Oscar's Pizza, or award-winning char-buffed wings with Oscar's Thai chili bourbon wing sauce. And with daily lunch and dinner specials, it's really a no-brainer. So get ready to watch your favorite team play ball at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, 173rd and West Center Road, and takeout at 162nd and Maple.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Look, I made you some
Unsportsmanlike
content.
Unsportsmanlike content. Unsportsmanlike content. Content that's unsportsmanlike.
By the way, earlier in the program, I promised that there would be some breaking news in the transfer portal today. Casey Rogers got offered by Purdue.
That doesn't count.
Yes, it does. Imagine if he goes to Purdue.
Get the eggs.
Nope, he's going to Purdue.
Whoa! Put it on the list.
If he goes to Purdue, that's a game changer. That's huge.
Get the eggs.
Now he takes all the secrets over there. So that's my promise. Promise delivered. Thank you very much. And now it's time for some unsportsmanlike content.
Hello.
Hi.
Memphis went on a 21-0 run in the fourth quarter to rally from 26 points down to beat the Timberwolves. How does anyone in the NBA allow a 21-0 run?
Well,
one team scores and the other team doesn't.
I mean, if you boil it down to its essence, that's how it happens. I would also say, and it's funny too, John, because last night I'm watching that game and Minnesota builds that crazy lead. I'm saying, this is sometimes what's going to happen when you have a matchup. in the playoffs with two teams that are both young. And I guess I would say the same thing about a 21-zip run. It's two young teams playing, and it's going to be volatile. Sometimes the volatility is going to be good for you. Sometimes the volatility is going to be bad for you. In this case, it was awesome for the Grizz, horrible for the T-Wolves.
This is the type of loss that usually is the beginning of the end. To give up something like that, I mean, you're that close. You had a 26-point lead to go up 2-1.
Dude, at home with Game 4, and you're building on whatever night?
Over a number 2 seed,
Yeah.
and you crud the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing I think is going to end in 2 more games there for the Grizz.
Meanwhile, the Mavericks are up 2-1 on the Jazz, and Luka hasn't even played yet. Is this series DONE done?
Well, if Jalen Brunson keeps playing as well as he is, 72 points in the first couple of games with only 1 turnover, I'm like the anti-Jack Mitchell. Jack Mitchell hates everything about Nebraska's rival conference. I cheer for the Big East. Go Jalen Brunson, former Villanova Wildcat. Come on, Jalen. You carry those Mavs on your big, broad shoulders. Do it for Jay Wright.
Yeah.
And do it for the Big East.
Do it for the Big East, as everyone is saying. Yeah, look, man, the best player in the series isn't even on the floor, and the Mavericks are still up 2-1.
No, he's on the floor. His name is Jalen Brunson.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
This has just got to be destroying their will.
Yes.
This is a team that's really struggled in the playoffs the last few years.
And is Luka – is there still a chance he could be back in this series?
I thought so. Every game.
Actually, it won't if they win the
I was
next
going
two.
to say, and man, how valuable could that be? Every game that they've gone into, I think since game 1, it's been kind of a, he might play, and then he hasn't played. So, look, I think if this went 7, he'll play. If it went 6, he might play. I don't know about the other ones. I wouldn't feel super confident, but yeah, I like the Mavs to win this one for sure.
ESPN analyzed the last 10 NFL drafts to see which teams got the most value. Josh,
Nick,
good news. The Cowboys were 4th in the league. Does that mean Jared Jones is a smart football guy?
Look, for all of his faults over the last...
Of which there are millions.
Yeah, let's start with 1996 and on, because that's the beginning of them not doing anything of note in the playoffs. The thing that he has been able to do lately, I would say over the last 10 years specifically, is build a great roster. They have done it through the draft. They have added complementary pieces through either free agency or through trades, like with the addition of Amari Cooper. Sometimes they give out stupid contracts like the one that they gave to Zeke Elliott. But I do like that, unlike Mike Schaefer's favorite baseball team, for example, the Cleveland Guardians, that Dallas spends money. To go back to this question, yeah, they're really good at drafting, which makes it all the more infuriating that they can't do anything in the playoffs when it matters the most.
Of the teams, and Seattle had the best drafts over the last 10 years when factoring it on value over expected. They won a Super Bowl in the last decade. The Chiefs, number 2, they won a Super Bowl in the last decade.
Cool, John.
Baltimore,
cool.
They won a Super Bowl over the last decade. And then at 4 and 5, you have Dallas and Green Bay, 0 Super Bowls. Philly, number 6, they won a Super Bowl.
Oh, cool.
New England, 7. The interesting thing is the Rams and the Broncos were both in the 20s, and they both have Super Bowls.
Well, we obviously know how the Rams built their franchise lately, and the Broncos before that, they had some good pieces, but they brought in guys like, of course, Peyton Manning, but DeMarcus Ware they brought in, some of their wide receivers. So, interesting.
Owen Woodward, the Texas junior college pitcher who tackled an opposing batter, is no longer with the team. Does he have a future in professional wrestling, though?
Maybe in the old days of professional wrestling where they didn't care what your reputation was, but now, they actually do kind of care. And in all seriousness, this is the type of thing that gets you as effectively blackballed from the sport. We told you the story of Ben Christensen yesterday, the Wichita State pitcher, who about 20 years ago hit a guy in the on-deck circle, threw a pitch into the on-deck circle and blinded a guy. And he was destined to be a, major league arm talent. And nothing. This is, even though, thankfully the person that he hit wasn't hurt badly, that type of behavior frowned upon big time in baseball.
Yeah, I think you're right, man. You make a mistake like that, and that one, it's just, the thing is, we don't see that. And so when you see a pitcher literally tackle a guy, it's going to stick with you for a long time. So obviously I don't know the professional wrestling world like you do, but if you're saying he doesn't have a future in it, then I will agree with you and say no.
Earl Thomas, soon to be 33 years old, wants to return to the NFL after 2 years away. I'm ready. I'm in shape. My timing is on point. I'm proud of that. That's what he told Adam Schefter. You see anybody taking a flyer on him.
I wouldn't be surprised, John, if somebody brought in Earl Thomas to participate in mini camps, into a training camp, just to see what you have. You don't have to have some guaranteed contract that's worth a whole lot of money. You could do a thing that's a low salary built on incentives. But given the time away, given that he's had some injuries near the end of his, I guess, first part of his career, whatever you want to describe it, I'd be surprised if he was on a roster, certainly if he did anything of note.
It wouldn't surprise me if he was on a roster. I mean, he's looking at Eric Weddle and what he did, literally coming out of retirement at the very end of last season to help a depleted Rams secondary, and he goes and wins a Super Bowl. And I think Earl's looking at the same thing, going, "Wait a minute, I'm healthier. I've been out of the game even longer.
Yeah,
as long as my timing's good, I'm fine." I would not be surprised if he made a roster. Not surprised at all.
Poaching isn't just a thing in men's sports. The Cavinder twins and their 4 million TikTok followers are transferring from Fresno State to Miami. Will they take the Hurricanes to the NCAA women's tournament?
Well, they've combined for over 3,000 points between the two of them in their career. But, yeah, nice little swoop there by Miami to get 4 million TikTok followers. By the way, these two, they got there all those TikTok followers by basically – and I still don't understand your generation, Nick. I mean, just all they do is dance routines. And I guess people thought they were great and started following them. And it's weird.
It's a wild,
weird world.
It's people simping, John. That's what it is.
I don't even know what that means. Does that mean the same thing as slime?
No.
Okay.
CNN Plus, the streaming service started by the cable news giant, is no more. Dead after just a handful of weeks. Give us your favorite CNN Plus memories.
So apparently, I didn't realize this. I thought CNN Plus was going to be like news, but on a streaming service, where I guess it was built around personalities and less so on actual news. And that's where, who's the guy? Rex Chapman. That's where he ended up.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like a stupid idea from the start. A month later, it seems somehow like an even worse idea. I guess my favorite memory was that realization early in the NCAA tournament when Rex Chapman was going to be on CNN Plus and watching his coverage thinking, wow, he's really bad on television.
Yeah.
That's probably going to suck, and then kind of giggling to myself. So that'd probably be my favorite one.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm going to get my Jamel Hill fix now or my Chris Wallace fix now. Remember, Chris Wallace left Fox News to
he
go.
Went there to CNN Plus?
Yes.
Oh, tough look for Chris.
Now he's got nothing.
He interviewed the president.
And
what's he going to do now?
I don't know.
Wow.
But the best part was I still get these weird emails from my news days. This was from a firm called what's it called? Accuracy in Media.
Oh.
They put out a statement saying CNN has spent years destroying their own journalistic credibility with how dramatically inaccurate news. The launch of CNN Plus showed how far removed they are from mainstream Americans. It's like dog pile.
Tough look for CNN.
It sucks because I had just gotten my subscription.
Oh, had you? You love CNN more than you love
Man, I
anything.
hope I get my refund. Coming up, bet of the day, and we wrap up the week on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
The Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Email me, Connor Happer, with the Connor Happer Show at Connor, CONNOR, at 1620thezone.com. Send me your love, your hate, and maybe a few hot takes. The Zone Inbox, presented by Equitable Bank.
Spring is in the air, but are you ready for summer? Team up with Genesis Health Clubs today and you'll be ready. We're inviting you to be your absolute best this summer. No compromises, no regrets, just you, full of the sort of confidence only fitness can bring. This is your summer to feel great, look great, and have more energy. Start your membership at Genesis Health Clubs and save $25 per month every single month. per month every single month. This offer has been extended for a limited time only. This summer is for you. Get yourself mentally and physically ready for vacations, pool parties, and barbecues in just a few short months. But you don't have to wait. You can start to feel better and have more energy today while you work towards your fitness goals. You are worth it. Join Genesis Health Clubs today and save $25 per month every single month. Extended for a limited time only. Save $25 per month every single month. This is going to be your best summer ever. Go to GenesisHealthClubs.com or stop by the club today. This offer has been extended for a limited time only.
When I need a new furnace or AC, I choose a company that provides solutions that meet my needs and budget.
When my furnace or AC needs repairs, I call a company with reliable technicians, not commissioned salespeople.
When I need a straight answer, I choose a company that is honest and has integrity.
At Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we provide the best solutions for your needs and budget. It's just part of
The way we do the things we do.
Carrier, turn to the experts.
The zoo is a great place to visit, but did you know it's also a great place to work? Omaha's Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium is currently hiring for a variety of positions, and we think you'll love trying something new. You can spend the day meeting guests, talking to families, and having full access to walk and explore Omaha's Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium. To learn more or apply, visit omahazoo.com/work here.
Well, Nebraska, we knew it would happen. The political establishment and their dark money are flooding the airwaves with negative ads filled with lies. Their target, conservative Charles W. Herbster. They attacked President Trump. Now they're lying about Charles W. Herbster. Fact, Charles Herbster will cut taxes for all Nebraskans. His pledge, property taxes must be cut and no new taxes on gas, medicine, or groceries. Fact, Charles Herbster has paid all his taxes and fees, every single penny. Fact, Charles is the only conservative candidate with the courage to finally fix our broken tax system once and for all. The political establishment and dark money special interests, they won't tell you the truth. Charles W. Herbster is the only conservative who will cut taxes and fix our broken system. Paid for by Herbster for Nebraska.
Join Share Omaha for Do Good Days, presented by FNBO on May 17th, 18th, and 19th. Support local nonprofits by giving dollars on Tuesday, buying items on Wishlist Wednesday, then giving your time on Fallen Thursday. Get involved at shareomaha.org.
You're listening to Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Going man on man, and one guy getting the better of the other.
The 1620, The Zone.
And you know why I'm laughing, don't you? Now, it's time for the Unsportsmanlike Conduct Bet of the Day.
Just a little bit under where some folks would like to see this one wind up.
Brought to you by nobody.
You've gotta be kidding.
Really, we don't have a sponsor. Sorry.
All right, I won, Nick won. John lost? What in the world?
That's what I get for betting on a stupid NBA game.
Thank God the Grizzlies came back.
Stupid Jazz.
I got a 2-team moneyline parlay for you tonight. I'm going to go with a couple of faves. Give me the Heat on the road in Atlanta, and give me the Bucks on the road in Chicago, plus 201.
Give me Joey Logano, top 3 finish at Talladega, plus 340.
All right.
I think I've earned an irresponsible racing bet. I'll get back to the grind on Monday. But give me Max Verstappen to win at Imola.
Okay, first of all, he's only what, plus 140?
Plus 120.
That's not an irresponsible bet.
If you knew how the Red Bulls were this season, John, you would say otherwise.
I know how the Red Bulls are. They kind of taste like Mountain Dew, but they're red.
Red Bull,
Mountain
garbage.
Dew.
That's my take.
Red Bulls are basically glass cannons this year. So
unless it's a sponsor, then I love Red Bull.
Right now, Max Verstappen has a 33% finish rate.
A 33% finish rate.
Because his engine keeps blowing up.
Get him a better engine.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I don't understand the sport.
Put a freaking Chevy in there.
Let me explain it to you.
Get a good, reliable American-made engine in there. Not that cheap garbage you get overseas.
You never let me explain it to you. I could.
You put a 454 big block in there, and that sucker will hum.
You gonna explain
a lot of low-end torque.
Well, I guess we're out of time. The music's playing. Can't explain it now, Nick. Sorry.
I know. You always do this. Iowa.
Have a great weekend, everyone. And we will talk to you on Monday.
Monday. Life. The last week of April.
It is going to be the last week of April.
I think the Derby's next weekend.
It is.
Holy crap. Horse racing time.
That means better check. Make sure Robin Washer can still join us on Thursday.
Good call. Bye.
See y'all.
Bye.